We're ready, bro.
11 hours, commercial free. Producer Taylor, hit the button.
Good evening, Laker fans, and welcome to Crypto.com Arena on what could be a historic night. Will be.
Rudy Ortiz, and I'm from Lancaster, California. Congratulations, King. Let's go.
Justin Gonzalez from Lake Elsinore, California. Hey, man, great respect. 20-plus years doing this, man, and I hope you break the record tonight. Deserve it all. Hard work, dedication pays off, man, and just congrats to you.
Picked up by Westbrook. Here come the Lakers 4-on-2. LeBron down the middle to the rim and in. 6 points away. Westbrook to LeBron. Put it up and in. 4 points away. 32 in the game for LeBron.
Zach Khalifa. I'm from Australia, Sydney.
Australia, look at that.
Congratulations, King.
I came all the way from Australia to see you break the record.
Just to watch the record. Can't wait. So excited.
Dominique Coruscant from Rancho Cucamonga, California. Congratulations, King. Hey, LeBron, I've been your biggest fan, one of your biggest fans ever since high school. I'm glad to see you break the record right here in L.A.
Here come the Lakers with 25 seconds remaining in the quarter. Westbrook with it. Give it to LeBron at the right elbow. LeBron, one-on-one against Kenrick Williams. Backing him in. Turns, shoots, scores! There it is!
All hail the new king in town.
All hail the new king in town! Young and old, gather round!
Young and old, gather round.
From one iconic Laker to another.
The King is now on top of his throne.
Congratulations, King.
Congratulations, King.
Congratulations, King.
Congratulations to LeBron James, making history last night at Crypto.com.
LeBron James has passed the captain.
Today, we celebrate the King with a commercial-free Celebration Wednesday. Celebrating the King making history with 38,388 straight seconds of non-stop, commercial-free Mega Sports Talk. A commercial-free Celebration Wednesday on the home of the King, 710 ESPN.
Did you get your bathroom break in?
You could have. We're going to play that again, right? About an hour.
Every top of the hour to celebrate.
Good. See, we got plenty of time, Slee. Go get a coffee, a sandwich. Freaking open right there. That was great, Chris. Well done.
Actually, that today, thank you. We call that an igniter today.
What a freaking igniter today.
You got to come up with different names.
No, that was
people,
great. That's amazing.
I'm ignited. I'm not going to lie. I'm fully ignited.
Hey, you called it yesterday. You thought he was going to get it done.
Yeah. Of
the
course
man
he was.
rolled up his sleeves, went to work, got it done. Who needs 4 quarters?
He was all business last night. All business last night. He shows up, decked out, head to toe, black outfit, headband. Like it was a lock.
I actually thought that you were going to walk in with something similar because this is your day, right? Like you walk in, we're doing commercial free.
Yes.
And if I'd have seen you in all black tucked in with your
with a headband, right? No question about it. It was great. It was incredible to see.
So we're streaming live all day on YouTube.
Yep.
Just search ESPN LA. Watch. There will be no stopping. So you'll see it all.
That's right.
When one of us has to get up, mainly you two, to go get coffee or a break.
Well, you get to leave for periods of the next 3 hours. You're here all day.
Yeah, 11 hours. I got 11 hours.
I know you do, but you have longer breaks inside the 11
when
hours.
Corporate Greg barges in to tell us something fascinating, when our boss, the great Amanda Brown, jumps in, or when producer Taylor plays the fiddle live on the radio.
You were dancing a jig when he was rehearsing.
I was so excited. Well, we had to figure out the
up.
technical aspects of it. Okay,
you know.
Nothing's easy around here when it comes to technical stuff.
We still don't know if it works well, but we're going to try it out.
We're going to try.
Yeah. He may take requests during Ask Taylor today.
All I heard you say is the pony.
Well, no, you know how Chris does the pony.
I do know the pony,
right?
yes.
So he wasn't doing the pony. It was like a prospector. He was kind of like a little bit of this going back and forth. It was good to see.
You have different moves for different tunes.
Well, you got to keep it fresh.
Of course.
You can't
do Genuine for
to the fiddle. That doesn't work.
Maybe
unless
you can.
If we can learn pony on the fiddle, that might be a feature at Mandy's too.
It's not a bad idea.
Okay.
It's not a bad idea.
We've been nonstop for 4 minutes and 43 seconds, and this is where I say, Travis and Sliwa, your Wednesday right now.
This is what I was saying.
Let's do it.
Yeah. See, now he has plenty of coffee, water, sandwich, bathroom break.
Okay, which one would you rather have? Would you rather have the 3 hours and 12 minutes nonstop, or his till
our deal for sure?
I'm with you.
I'll send him like a FaceTime when it's about 7:30, 8 o'clock tonight, and be like, "Hey, how you doing, man? How's it hanging?" It was quite a night last night.
Yeah,
Slee.
it was.
You had the incredible honor of being there, of getting to be in the building. I watched it on television like most of the world. It was incredibly exciting to feel the anticipation through TV, through the excitement. And it did have, they talked about it on the broadcast last night, about how it had kind of a playoff vibe. It had, and I heard more than one person say this, and people that have been to multiple finals, that it had kind of the vibe of a finals game because of all the national media, because there was this coronation that was, I don't want to say likely to take place, but certainly possibly going to take place that night. That was coming through the TV. What was it like in the building?
So, first off, I think that's the perfect way that you put it. As sometimes you get opportunities to be at sporting events and you don't realize how special that night could be. So, for me personally, I didn't think, walking into ESPN, I'm like, look, 36 points is far enough away where if he doesn't get it, he's going to do it on Thursday. But it all kind of changed for me the moment I walked into the building, because you did see, I started the pregame show. First thing that I said was, this feels like it's an NBA Finals game.
A lot of people said that.
And I'm not kidding, and I'm not trying to be dramatic or anything along those lines, but it had that feel to it. And then you kind of start putting these pieces together. You know that Bron's family is going to be there. His kids are going to sit courtside. You know that they're just, I guess you could say in general, when I saw the video of Bron in that suit that we're talking about, he ain't wearing the suit to have 28 tonight. You don't do that to come in and come 8 points short of breaking the record.
Sure.
So I think before tip-off even started, the feel started of, he's definitely trying to get this out of the way by the time tonight is all said and done. As far as the feel of being there, it really was like no other sporting event I've been to, and there are reasons why.
Really?
There's reasons why. There is.
Because you've, just for context, you've been to NBA Finals games.
Yep.
You've been to
Game 7, Lakers-Boston.
Major League Baseball playoff games. You've been to cool stuff.
Kobe's final game.
Yeah.
But this one, and I'm not ranking this above those, I'm saying it's the most unique of all of them, and I'll tell you why. Unique in its own right. It was unique because the moment the game started and LeBron James touched the ball, the crowd would start making noise as if the next point is going to be the difference of him passing Kareem or not.
For sure.
When Dennis Schroeder took a jumper,
it
was like, what are you doing? Why would you, how dare you take a shot when Bron is triple teamed?
Sure.
Right? So it was different from that perspective, that every time he touched the ball, when he would sub in, he'd come out, get his usual rest. When he'd sub in, it was as if he broke the record. So I'm not even talking about breaking the record. Yeah. I'm just saying, in a basketball game, there's certain things you're accustomed to every single night. I was not accustomed to seeing something like that. They got they added this year at Crypto.com. They got the 2 big scoreboards that now just have all the stats on there.
Okay.
And on there it said chasing history, and it had Kareem and his number, it had LeBron and his number, and then it had the point total that he was away. So 28 away. 24 away.
They had the counter on TV last night on TNT. They were counting it down bucket by bucket.
So that's why it's different. Yeah. It's not, listen, if you tell me Kobe's final game, that was arguably the best sporting event I've ever been to in my life, because you knew it was Kobe's final game.
You didn't know you were going to get that.
And then he puts up 60 or whatever he ends up with. But this was really, really unique for the purposes I'm talking about. And the crowd inside of Crypto, it was so unique to be a part of. Like I said, every time he touched the ball and he was still 28 points away, they had a certain feel to it.
Yeah, it's funny because I'm glad you brought up the Kobe final game, because I was at that one as well. And it had a very specific energy to it that I've been to finals games. I've been to Stanley Cup games. I've been to Major League playoffs, championship fights, Rose Bowls, Super Bowls. Like I've been very fortunate in my life to go to all of the big events. I've seen them. But there's a certain something that comes along with history. Sometimes you know what's happening, and sometimes you don't. Sometimes you just run into where somebody throws a perfect game or a no-hitter or hits 4 home runs, and you just were lucky to be there. Then there's the, I'm here to see this because it's going to happen tonight, or at least there's a good chance it might happen tonight. we all knew it was Kobe's final game.
Sure.
So the people that were there to see it. They were excited for
a celebration.
It was a celebration, and maybe we'll get something cool, maybe we won't. That game started off weird. He missed like his first 5 or 6 shots.
Yeah.
He couldn't get the ball in the basket.
I thought Byron was going to bench him.
It felt like maybe he should have at some point. He ended up with 60. And this is what that felt like. You just looked around, and look, I get why TNT, ESPN, and everybody loves to come and do games at Crypto, because there's celebrities there. But then there's the next level of this, which was last night, where you just don't have to be famous. You have to be A-list famous to be out there. You need to be Jay-Z. You need to be Denzel. You need to be
Bad Bunny.
Bad Bunny. You need to be Phil Knight. You need to be one of these levels of famous people. And then the energy just comes up. And every basket that he has just gets that in, it just turns it up a little more. It's like turning up the heat on a pan, or just building this in anticipation. And I was watching it from my couch at home. When was the last time you were hanging on buckets in the first couple of minutes of an NBA game?
Yeah, you're glued.
Right. You're waiting. Okay. Wait, and you're
hey,
right.
Braun has 8. What?
Ow.
I know.
I was yelling.
I'm with you.
Michael was doing whatever Michael does when he comes home. But he's like, tell me when he scores. And so I'm literally yelling in the other room, he's got to get 32 more. We're down to 26. We're down to 20. And so now, once we got into 20, he's in there. And every time somebody that wasn't LeBron James would touch the ball, would shoot the ball, it's like, don't shoot it. Don't shoot it. No.
Pass to him.
And Troy Brown shooting at the end of a shot clock. I'm like, why?
Because the 24-second violation. Just nobody shoot it along the way.
The shot clock's going to run out.
And it was super fun, too, Al, because, and tell me if you agree with this, but it felt very atypical of a LeBron James type of performance. Not that he can't have nights where he gets 36 points, but you could tell from the jump, he's like, I'm getting buckets tonight. Not I'm going to find the game's going to come to me. Not I'm going to get everybody else involved. Not I'll take what the defense gives me. Not I'll take over when I need to. It's I'm breaking this damn record tonight, and it's going to happen pretty fast. And by the time we got to halftime, and he had 20 at the half?
He needed 16. He had 20.
He had 20 at the half. You're like, oh, this is a wrap. It's just a matter of how far past it he's going to go. He broke it before the fourth quarter even started. It was just everything about it was atypical of him. He's not the guy that comes out and says, I'm putting up 30 shots tonight. Last night he was. He was the guy that came into the building saying, I'm getting X amount of points. And because he's LeBron James, you knew it was the second you saw him doing all of the pregame stuff, you're like, oh no, this is the only thing that was going to stop him was if he had that rare night where he's just ice cold. And even an ice cold night where LeBron just takes a bunch of shots, he's going to get close to he's probably going to get pretty damn close.
I swear I was taking like a poll yesterday, just naturally, right? Every conversation before the game. Hey, what do you think? Is he going to break it tonight? I see Ramona, I see Billy Mack, I see whoever it is, right? What do you think? Is he going to break it tonight? And I thought most of them, you'd say maybe it was leaning 60%. Yeah, I think he's going to get it tonight. But there were still a lot of people that didn't think. 36 points, is he going to get it? He's averaged 27, 28 over these last few games. Is it actually going to happen? Is it not going to happen? And I'm with you. By the time you got to halftime, it was, okay, well, it's a wrap. The only question is how much time will be left on the clock when it does happen? What are they going to do when it does happen? How are they going to...
bucket?
What type of bucket? Yeah. By the way, that was pretty baller. That's perfect. Kind of going to your left, too.
I don't want to interrupt, but Al...
You got plenty of time. By the way, interrupt as much as you want. We have plenty of time for interruptions.
It was like when Kareem broke Wilt's record in 1984. It was perfect. It was a sky hook. It was just swish. It's in. Everybody jumps in. It was. Of course, Kareem breaks the record on a sky hook because he made 8 trillion of them. Right. This is what had he done it on a up and under, it would have like that doesn't look right at all.
Julius Irving,
right? But it was a sky hook, and that LeBron had a little fadeaway jump shot, kind of a mid-range jumper that was well defended, or at least reasonably well defended, and it was wet and perfect, and everything, and just the sound it makes. And we'll play the call, John's call here in a second. I love the call, but you have my favorite part of it is you hear the ball go through the net. It's terrific because, like you just said, it wasn't in transition where he just makes a layup. It was a quintessential LeBron James move to put him over the top. That's going to get played probably forever. We'll get to that. We have 3 hours of uninterrupted, commercial-free, right?
Plenty of time.
We got plenty of time to get into it. That shot is going to play 50 years, maybe longer, maybe 100. Who knows how long basketball, who knows how long any of us are here. If that record holds as long as Kareem's did, I'm going to be in my 80s by the time somebody comes around to break that thing again, right? Closing in on 90. It was the right shot. It wasn't at the free throw line. It wasn't some janky little thing near the hoop where it's a putback or a tip in. It was a quintessential LeBron James shot.
So, okay, now we could talk about the final shot, and that's perfect the way you described it right there. That was it's a moment, and I think you're, as somebody who had opportunity to be there, I'm kind of trying to figure out, all right, well, do I just keep hitting record on my phone until this thing eventually happens? Of course I'm going to. And you don't even want the final bucket. I want when he's 6 points away. Like, I wanted, like, the anticipation, the build-up that's coming, right? In that final possession, the way you described it about free throw line extended, fading away towards his left, perfect bucket like you said it. And there's, like, this perfect wide screen where you could see fans behind him, in front of him, and he starts kind of walking towards, the opposite of the Lakers bench, puts his hands up, and it just, I don't know how to describe it. It was just kind of, it was really cool. It felt so authentic, so natural. There was no time for him to think of what to do. This is my authentic moment, and I'm just taking it in stride. And I felt like I found myself, I'm taking video on my phone.
We'll talk about that later because there was one very famous person who was not. And it's awesome. We'll get to it.
Okay.
We have 3 hours and 12 minutes.
So we have plenty of time. We have plenty of time. I found myself, after taking video of what's happening on the court, taking video of everybody else taking video.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding. Everywhere you looked, it was like, wow. I don't know how many different, you could maybe use as an example. Maybe there's a concert that you go to where everybody's incredible. Everybody's got their phone out. A big sporting event, everybody's got their phone out. Sometimes not looking at that and looking at everybody else doing what they're doing, you don't have too many moments like that, right? They only happen so often.
Also, isn't it kind of dystopian? Like, you're like, okay, everybody is just, instead of just viewing with their eyes and experiencing it with their body, they're just being like, here's my iPhone, and then you're recording
They're
the
looking
whole
at
thing.
it through a screen. They're not even looking at it with their own eyeballs.
And how is that
viewing
different
it
than
through
me?
another screen.
But can I tell you something? And I the only reason why I did that, and she's completely right. So a lot of times you want to catch something on your phone that you don't fully get to consume what's happening.
Yeah.
The only reason I want to do it, I'm just telling myself, I'm like, bro, this is an iconic video for you.
Of course.
That you could have that for as long as that's the only reason why. But you're right, it loses by looking at your phone and am I zooming out, am I this, am I hand moving, all that, you're losing part of that moment.
But also, like, okay, how many times are you going to look at that photo, that video photo, all that stuff? How is it going to be different than what Spectrum captures, what TNT captures? And then people were comparing last night that photo of everybody watching the game, and then like MJ's buzzer beaters, all this stuff where people are just experiencing it and watching it because they obviously don't have phones to take out to take a picture of it. And I think there's just some things that like I'm very anti-concert videotaping like the whole time. Just go there, experience it, be it, and tell your kids with your story in your mouth.
I think she's trying to tell everybody to put your phone away.
That's just what I'm trying to say.
I don't disagree with her.
Phone away.
We'll circle back to it in a sec. But you mentioned a name that I wanted to bring up, Em. And by the way, we want to get everybody's response, how you guys felt about it and everything else. 877-710-ESPN, 877-710-3776.
We're live on the YouTube stream. We're live all day, so we're not going anywhere.
All day.
Yeah.
Chris, all day. It's all day long.
Did Emily say dystopian?
Yes.
Yes, she did.
Yes, she did.
Commercial free Celebration Wednesday.
It's a good word.
Made possible by our friends at Fullerton Ford. Abe over there, the owner, the great Abe. When you think Ford, think Fullerton Ford. Hoorah! Visit FullertonFordOC.com. And also our friends at Vista Paint. Vista Paint, locally owned, manufactured, and operated since 1956. Commercial free until 9 p.m. this evening. That comes out to a little over, if you do the math.
What's the counter?
38,388 seconds. Here's the problem with the counter. I'm at 19 minutes and 38 minutes, but
We're
this isn't
basically
breaking
done
it down in seconds.
Well, you'd have to divide by 60.
A lot of work.
This is your fault for doing the second thing instead of a minute thing.
I'm here for bits, not math.
I was told there would be no math. She mentioned Jordan there a second ago.
Yeah.
There's something about, and LeBron is certainly in this class, those guys, Jordan, Tiger, LeBron, Joe Montana, Tom Brady, that when it comes time for history, it doesn't just happen, it happens beautifully. It happens with something that is pleasant to look at over and over and over again. That when you think of Michael Jordan, you think of him throwing Brian Russell onto the ground and rising up and knocking down that shot and the follow through.
Shot over Elo.
The shot over Elo.
Yeah.
They're beautiful moments that aren't just, the ball went in the
He
hoop.
stumbled and the ball rimmed
It's not at
around
the
a
free
couple
throw line
times.
where
Yeah.
it's Magic with the baby skyhook in the Garden. It's Tiger Woods at Torrey Pines with a 10-footer, and it's hanging and it drops in, and the two. It's those guys find a way to make it beautiful. Ali, absolutely over Sonny Liston. That it's beautiful. It's not just exciting, which it is. It's not just history, which it is. It's beautiful. And that shot, and especially the shot of the shot of him making the shot from the opposite baseline where you're looking. That's the one that you're going to see a million different times. It just looks perfect. And I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just that those guys are aliens among us and they just have this ability to go to a level that regular dudes and women don't. But it's just this, it's perfect. And only those guys have those perfect moments when you have to have didn't rattle. It didn't bank in. It didn't hit the rim, bounce up, and fall through. It didn't, get the Shea Gilgeous-Alexander hit the rim 3 times, hit the backboard, and fall in. He's really good. But he made one of those last night, right? It knocked, and it's like, okay, it was perfect. And you just don't get a lot of perfect moments, but those guys seem to get them all the time. It's really neat.
So something happened, last night, post-game show. And by the way, if you were at Crypto and you want to kind of describe what the night was, or even if you weren't there, and you want to talk about Bron and his career, I mentioned this a couple times yesterday, and I'll mention it again. Last night was not about LeBron James as a Los Angeles Laker. Last night was not LeBron James. Last night was so much bigger than that. I want to tell you what I'm referring to. He scored. He has 38,390 points. Needed 36. He got 38 yesterday. Last night was somebody that had so much hype and expectation 20 years ago, that started his career in Sacramento against the Kings, that was on the cover of Sports Illustrated, and what was the term? The chosen one. Last night was about a player that had been talked about as he was getting ready to come in the NBA, that spent X amount of years with the Cleveland Cavaliers, X amount of years with the Miami Heat, X amount of years with the Cleveland Cavaliers again, and then 5 now with the Los Angeles Lakers. Last night was more than just Bron in the purple and gold. It was adding up everything he's done over these 20 years to get to a moment where he passes Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, which, by the way, he's top 4 in all-time assists. Was it last week at the Madison Square Garden? He passed Mark Jackson and Steve Nash.
Yes.
2 guys that you only know for dishing the ball. Think about the Karl Malone, the Kobe's, all these other guys that are only known for scoring. Last night was more than just passing Kareem. Last night was, and I think that's what we'll do in today's show. We'll do our best to just kind of to capture what LeBron James has been over 20 years in different stretches of his career.
So there's a lot in there because you're right, and I want to go back to something you said a second ago, that when I think for a lot of us, and our first conscious moment of LeBron James's existence was one of 2 things. It was either him being on the cover of Sports Illustrated as the chosen one, or when ESPN televised one of his high school games.
Yep.
And by the way,
that was mine.
This was not, ESPN the app. This was not ESPN the Ocho. This was not, look, I'm going to say this as a proud UC Santa Barbara alumnus. UC Santa Barbara and Long Beach State play tomorrow night. It's on ESPN 460. Okay, It's on the app, and you can see it, and it's fine, and it's good. But it's buried in the ESPN universe. The game was on ESPN when there was only ESPN.
Sports Center.
Right. And games.
And games.
Okay. And so they
Monday Night Football.
They put this guy's game on TV. And so I want you to listen to this. This is the open from that game. Okay. And Emily and I think, is it Dan Schulman? Did we come to the conclusion?
It's Dan Schulman, and it was actually ESPN 2, but still ESPN that one.
So this is Dan Schulman talking about this guy. He's in high school.
December 12th, 2002.
I want you to listen to how he describes what this, at the time, kid may become as a man.
The history of basketball is rich with legendary performers. Those who have dominated the paint, dazzled us with their passing, displayed uncanny marksmanship, and risen above the crowd. Other than talent, the common thread among all these legends is simple. They're known by a single name. And now, as we look to the future, a young man called LeBron attempts to earn that same distinction. Can LeBron James take his first step toward legendary status? Find out next.
Think about that. First step towards legendary status. A man that will become known by one name. Marksmanship, passing, power in the paint. You kidding me? It's like the guy had a time machine and had jumped up to where we were last night and said, okay, what is he going to fourth time in assist? Yeah, cool. All-time leader? Okay, cool. Known by one name? Yeah, he's actually known by two different one names, King and LeBron. Both people, you know who you're talking about with both of these things. It was incredibly prescient to be able to look at that, again, kid at the time and say, this may be the beginning of the most unbelievable basketball career that we've ever seen. And by the way, he exceeded, not met. He exceeded every possible expectation that you could ever have for an athlete.
So he was hyping up some kid that played at St. Vincent St. Mary High School. That's what he was hyping up, right? Can you imagine how many different times, especially after Bron, where ESPN probably saw, hey, look, listen, I know Kobe came out of high school.
Well, there's the Zion of it all, who was touted in high school and then touted at Duke.
But I'm going to use as an example, there was a time where obviously players coming right out of the league. That doesn't happen currently right now. Kobe came straight out of high school. KG came straight out of high school. There were some players that did that. What we don't pay attention to is how many times did somebody like this make a call like this, talking about, can this dude be legendary, superstar,
all
this?
the time.
And none of them. Or they were in the G League, or they ended up in Europe, or they ended up just a role player on a team.
Yep.
The way he described LeBron James, like you said, you could have took what he took yesterday and put it, or what you just played, and played it yesterday, and I wouldn't have known. I would have been like, oh, so somebody's just talking about LeBron James 20 years in the league.
Yeah, and here's what I want to do. I want to take some of your phone calls coming up here in just a little bit. Obviously, we're commercial-free today. We're going to take a lot of phone calls. We're going to talk a lot of different things. We have a lot of cool pieces of sound like that, both from what happened last night and everything that's led up to that moment from last night as well. But I just very quickly want to kind of stick on this because you said it, that I'm trying to think. I think there are three. I think there are three people that in my sports fan lifetime, and certainly in my time as a sports media professional, that have received just this otherworldly amount of hype and yet not only lived up to it but exceeded it. There are three people, and you're talking 40-plus years. LeBron James, who was touted the chosen one as a teenager, exceeded expectations. Passed Kareem Abdul-Jabbar last night. Tiger Woods, who started showing up on TV when he was 5 years old as kind of this, hey, look at this little kid that can hit golf shots like a man, and he's 5, who became the greatest golfer of all time, according to most people who follow these things. And Serena Williams, who was, oh, no, I know that the big sister, Venus, is really good, and she's winning Wimbledon. You ain't seen nothing yet. Wait till her little sister gets here. And they were right. And she showed up, and she smashed every record there is to smash. That's three people. Three. And most of them are, like, think child actors. How many kids that were on a TV show when they were 10 turned into Tom Hanks or Robert De Niro or Leonardo DiCaprio? DiCaprio's one of the few that did child star to the end. It doesn't happen. They get drugged out. They go crazy. They don't have the talent.
Sure.
They don't have the desire.
They didn't have a normal childhood.
They don't know how to live their life.
Sure.
They don't know how to live in a world where
life.
everybody's looking at you. LeBron James went through all of this, and I don't want to say came out the other side because he's not done. This is not the last game of his career. He said it after the game, which, again, we'll talk about a lot today. He said he could play 2, 3, 4 more years for any franchise, which made me go, any franchise? We'll talk about that coming up in a while, too. But we're just getting started. He has 38,390 points.
Yeah.
He's going to play. They got 28 games left. Let's say he plays in 24 of them, which sounds about right.
Okay.
Does that sound about right to you?
Yeah.
Let's say he averages what he's averaged so far this season, 30 points a game. He's going to finish this season with 39,110 points.
Yep.
If that's how it plays out. If he continues to play for another 2 years, and again, I'm going to lowball all of this. 2 more years, plays 55 games a year. Okay, feels about right.
Average of what he's done.
Say he averages 25 a game. He's going to have nearly 42,000 points. And that's low, Al. That we're having this moment because he passed him last night. He's going to put this thing so far out of touch that it really is. It's incomprehensible. I've done a bunch of the math. I'll give you some of the numbers on what somebody would have to do to catch him starting at 18 years old. It's never going to happen. It's really never going to happen. Let's take some of these phone calls. Let's go to Emily. Which one of these would you recommend?
Let's go to Michael in Pico Rivera.
Michael in Pico Rivera. You're batting lead off, Michael. What's going on this morning?
What's happening, guys? Well, I just want to say I'm a diehard Laker fan just to start it off. I was not happy with that game last night. Yes, congrats to LeBron, ultimate record, but he was going to get it anyways. They should have focused on getting the win when we need it. There was plenty times, like Dennis Schroeder was at the open three, he would pass it up just to get the ball to LeBron. Even his last shot to get the record, I believe I think Bryant was right under the basket, had a close off like open shot, and he didn't pass it up. We put way too much emphasis on him getting that scoring record that we forgot about the game. I'm very unhappy about it, to be really honest.
Michael, appreciate you calling in. So, and we could kind of mix this into the show as well, where I'm sure this is going to happen. Trade deadline's tomorrow. Lakers are 5 games below 500. Listen, Trav, I don't know what you want me to tell you about yesterday, but if you think the Lakers had issues yesterday, and that was the only issue because Bron was about to pass Kareem, go watch some of the games so far this year. They gave up 131 points against the Pelicans on Saturday and 133 against the Oklahoma City Thunder. This is one of the things, honestly, that I love so much about Laker fans. They appreciate and respect what's happening. At the same time, they're like, hey, where are we on the standings? At the same time, are we getting in the playoffs when you got into the playoffs? What's going on before the trade deadline coming at noon? Yesterday was a really, really awkward game to watch.
It was.
And I'm going to play off of something that you said and I mentioned earlier. I'm not kidding that when anybody other than Bron had the ball, there was a groan in the air like, bro, pass the ball to LeBron James. And I'm not justifying anything. I'm not justifying.
But I also get it, right? You almost have to take this game out of the season as a total because I was saying it. That's why I thought he would win or break the record last night is because the Lakers really needed to win this game. But it turned into more of a coronation than it did a game that they were trying necessarily to win because the game plan that was used, get LeBron a million shots, was not necessarily the game plan that you would use to win the game, but I'm okay with it. I understand that you kind of tricked off a game that you almost had to win. It's the team right ahead of you. It's a team, I want to say that you're better than. You're not. You're behind them in the standings. You're not better than they are. They just beat you again last night. But I'm okay with it. I get all of the bad decision that comes along with it, the losing, and you're not wrong, and not you, but like the royal you. But it was one of those things that just kind of, I'm willing to take one for the team just to see that moment. All right, like we know, no commercials today, but that doesn't mean I'm not going to remind you about Sweet James. 800-500-5200. That's the number if you get hurt in an accident. We're talking car accident, truck accident, dog bite, motorcycle, whatever it may be. you need to call Sweet James if it happens to you, because the call that you make is the difference between you getting what the insurance company thinks you deserve, and what they think you deserve is the smallest amount of money possible. What Sweet James is looking for is to get you the compensation that you actually deserve. Life-changing settlements, get the car fixed, get the medical care that you need, and make sure that you're taken care of in what is an incredibly difficult time. It's scary, it's frustrating, and you want somebody that knows how to navigate their way through that. That's Sweet James. 800-500-5200. Say it with me. 800-500-5200 and sweetjames.com. All right, Slee. So it was. They look. The Lakers are not good. Okay, they have 28 games left. They're 5 games under 500. They just lost to the youngest team in the league, who's got 900 draft picks, who's gearing up for this, potentially very bright future. The Lakers are built to win right this minute, and they lost.
And they ain't winning.
And they're not winning. And so I understand the level of frustration. It's just last night, I'm okay with them kind of throwing one in the trash to get LeBron what he needed.
So, by the way, and you might be okay with that, and I know how Laker fans are. You do too. There is this kind of level for Laker fans. Yeah, cool, awesome. Are they competing? Are they not competing? They get the win, they not get the win. Whenever somebody says about yesterday, hey, AD should have had more points, or this should have happened. They gave 133 points.
Stan Van Gundy thought he should have. My goodness.
Okay, I didn't hear it. You were telling me that he was all over him.
He was murdering him in the second half.
As much as you can if you're on play-by-play.
Yeah, it was just short of, dude, and you know how I feel about AD. He frustrates me more than any Laker I've seen, maybe ever. And it's like, dude, take it easy. He was going out of his way. He's not playing hard. He's not competing. He's not going to compete. He has to get involved. He has to get.
Go walk over and talk to him. You're right there.
Crazy.
You're Van Gundy.
It was a lot.
I say that last night was not a game. Bron breaks the record. Anybody that wants to talk about AD, hey, he only had 10 shots, 9 shots every day. Lakers aren't playing defense, so just stop on the offensive issue. They put up 130 points. That's enough to win games. They don't play defense.
Can I ask you something?
Yeah.
Because I want to go back to when we're at the facility in El Segundo. Darvin Ham is hired.
Yep.
When we are at the facility for Media Day and we interview Darvin Ham again, that the thing that was just I don't know what this is going to be, but what I can tell you for sure is
that's
this team's going to
identity.
play hard every night, and we're going to play especially hard on the defensive end. I know AD's missed a lot of time, and he's kind of the anchor of what they do defensively.
Yeah.
They're not a good defensive team. They are not a team that does it on that end of the floor, and they really haven't been all season long. And to your point, the Lakers scored 130 points. You should win, 95% of the time you score 130 points? They don't.
They had 100 and I want to say 25 against the Pelicans and lost that one too. So there's definitely, that's not happening from a defensive side.
Commercial-free Celebration Wednesday on 710 ESPN until 9 p.m. tonight, made possible by our friends at Harrah's Resort SoCal. Find your funner state of mind with a visit to Harrah's Resort SoCal, voted best resort in Funner, California. From dining to unwinding, you'll find fun around every corner. Book today at harrahssocal.com. Coming up in about 10 minutes, a roaring edition of Ask Taylor. And don't forget, Taylor's got his electric fiddle here today. So that performance will be coming live on your radio, live on YouTube. You can watch the show all day long. Just search ESPN LA on YouTube. So we're at about 38 minutes so far.
How many seconds?
I don't know. I'm going to have to get a separate thing to do the math. And nobody needed a coffee break.
No, nothing.
No, we're
nobody
cruising.
needed a bathroom break.
Yeah.
See, this is good training for the future, so you don't have to leave every break.
Sometimes I get tired of
gonna
looking at Al.
The higher ups are going to be like, we should do this more often.
No.
We should just know commercials moving forward.
I got a question for you, Slate. So last night you were there's a ton of celebrities there. The whole game was filled with famous people. Were there any did you meet any famous people that you didn't meet before? Did you see anybody you didn't see? Who was the coolest person for you?
Okay, so I kind of stay in my own world. They're obviously all sitting front row. I have my access, which is stay where you're supposed to be sitting. It's kind of funny. When Bron's about to break the record, Trav, it's right behind me taking video, and where I sit, it's just a wall behind you, and then section 200 starts.
Yep.
But you can stand there and not be in the people's way behind you. It's Jim Gray. Jim Gray
really?
Just very randomly.
Friend of mine.
Is he really?
Yes.
Okay, so Jim Gray.
Friendly acquaintance.
Okay. So he's standing right there, and Bron is getting closer to break the record, and now he's standing there taking video. I mean, close enough to where both our elbows, we're fighting for elbow space.
Should have asked him to come on today.
You have to, yeah. You know, to be honest with you, more than anything else, I kind of just didn't want to bother the guy. Like, he was there so
Yeah, but we have a show. It went 3 hours with no breaks. Maybe you bother him for 30 seconds and say, hey, Jim Gray, you were the guy sitting on the other side of the decision. You want to come on for 5 minutes and talk about with us?
He was so zoned in, and by the time Bron's done breaking the record, it's he hits his basically stop button and he's gone, right? But Gray, that was our moment together. It was, your elbow space is a little bit in my elbow space. Let's negotiate this a little bit.
And
Let's
that's
negotiate this.
Perfectly Sliwa of you to say that a media personality is your favorite famous person that you saw there. not Bad Bunny, not Jay-Z, not like these huge things.
So here's the only reason why. Jay-Z was at Kobe's final game. Denzel's at every game. So we've seen those guys before. Bad Bunny, if I ran into him at Starbucks, I would have no idea what's going on. So I would probably just say, hey, I heard you're a great actor on this show. I have no idea.
Loved you in Star Wars.
Bad Bunny is a singer, guys.
I know he kills it. I mean, they're playing his music during the game.
I'm not doing this because I'm the first one to say I don't know. I know who Bad Bunny is.
Yeah,
like
there's
now if you put three guys that looked kind of similar to him, I don't know if I could pick him
it's
out.
It's a 33% chance.
But if you said who is Bad Bunny, I'll say he's a musician. I would at least know that much.
Yeah, come on.
It felt to go back to what Emily was just saying. Look, Mayweather's at each one of these games. Mayweather's there again. There was definitely a lot of kind of stars just looking at like what the hell is going on here. But for the most part, you know, in the media room and everything else, it's not like you're crossing paths with them. But just
always
you know the vibe.
Always
you know the vibe.
Star power at crypto, but
juiced up.
Big ones like that, they're juiced to a level that's even for LA, it's impressive.
It reminds me of Kobe's final game.
It did. It was
reminds
very
me of Kobe's final game.
Also, I know Chris did his whole pitch for Ask Taylor, which we're super excited about.
Got good ones, by the way.
Today is also National Iowa Day. So
really?
I have several Iowa-based questions that I have for Taylor that I need answered.
Meant to be.
Will we do them in Ask Taylor? Is that when you want to slide those in?
Oh, of course I'm going to do an Ask Taylor. I have a couple that I need answers
we got a
to.
lot of time, because even if you want to do it at 11.
We got plenty. We'll take your phone calls. In fact, let's take one right. Okay, before I go to the phone call, have you looked at your Twitter stream? Because I'm curious if it's anything like mine. People are very happy for LeBron that he broke the record, but overwhelmingly people are frustrated that that eclipsed them blowing a game they were supposed to win.
I did the post-game show yesterday.
Is that all you got?
No, it's not all I got. I say that joking around, and this is why I go back to it. This is Lakers basketball. Lakers basketball. They want to. They want to complain. Listen, if the team was 7 games over 500. They'd be talking about Bron more so. If they'd have won yesterday, maybe that's a little bit different too. Trav, they're in 13th place. They own the 13th spot in the Western Conference.
That's why I'm kind of like, can we just not enjoy this for a day? Can we not celebrate the high water mark, arguably, of the greatest player of all time, and not that they lost they had a bad night against the. I get it. It's a bad loss. It may be the loss that keeps. I understand all of that, and I'm not insensitive to it, but. They're not very good. Okay, so let's take the moments when something fun and neat and exciting and historic and monumental happens to enjoy it, as opposed to, hey, why did the team that loses a lot more than they win lose again?
Say that nicer.
Because they lose all the time.
I think
they're
it's
not
also
very good. Can we stop with this? Wait.
Can I just say this? 2 weeks ago, this is why it's more frustrating today. It's more frustrating today because 2 weeks ago, hey, AD's coming back. They played 500 without Anthony Davis.
Yeah.
They're only a few games out of blah, blah, blah. They're now 3 games below 500 without Anthony Davis.
Yeah, well, they're 5 games under 500 on the season, which
right.
is the
3
number that matters.
With Anthony Davis, 2 without Anthony Davis, as in they're losing with or without him.
I am so exhausted by if these 8 things happen, we're back in it.
Mm-hmm.
Stop. They've played 2/3 of the season. They're 5 games under 500. They just got beat by the youngest team in the league.
But that's why these people are mad.
But my point is, it's not like it just started happening. This has been happening for a season and a half now. Come into this with your eyes open. I'm not saying don't be frustrated by the losing. It is frustrating, but don't be surprised by it. Don't be like, I can't believe we lost to the Thunder. Really?
So we're not going to break
twice last year.
So we're not going to break down the third quarter defensive scheme.
We're
not going to do that.
Was that the part where they said, I don't want to play defense? I mean, that just seemed like that's what it was. Let's go to the Valley, Van Nuys, and David. David, you're on with Trav and Sliwa. What's up, David?
Hey, guys. Could you guys hear me?
Yep.
Yeah, thanks for taking my call. First and foremost, Travis, we Laker fans, we care about wins. But with that being said, I witnessed history yesterday. I'm as old as when Kareem had the record, so for me to witness history yesterday was amazing. Congrats to LeBron. And, honestly, I've been listening to the KJM show the whole morning today, and a lot of Laker fans have been calling and not giving LeBron credit. He deserves credit. He's been here in L.A. for 5 years. He's brought us a championship. Just by having LeBron, we are not going to win championships if we don't have pieces around him. Look at the team we have around him. I mean, yesterday's game was much needed that we had to win, and we played no defense. It didn't feel like a game. We know everybody wanted LeBron to get the record, which he did, which is amazing. I love it. But we don't have a team around him, and he's not going to be able to push us alone. We need teams. So people talking about LeBron's not the GOAT, he doesn't deserve this, that man deserves everything. He's 38 years old, and he's playing like a beast.
Yep.
So he deserves all the credit, and we need to get him help. That's all we need.
I couldn't agree with you more, David. I think that your analysis is right, but my point is that this just didn't start happening last night. This has been happening all season. This happened most of last season. We need to get. Yeah, I agree, but I'm not going to go over the same thing that we've been going over for a season and a half. Get him more help. Anthony Davis needs to be more involved. Russell Westbrook was playing out of control. Whatever the arguments. Well, yeah. I mean, sure. Just like last month and the month before that and the month before that and the entire season. Yeah. I'm just going to enjoy LeBron for an evening. Did the Lakers lose a game they probably shouldn't have? Yep. Is that news? Not really. Let's focus on the part that was extraordinary last night. They're not very good. They're not. Mm-hmm. Their record says they're not. Their performance says they're not. Their roster says they're not. Why would we keep doing this? Oh, no, I'm telling you. Mm-hmm. We've been doing that for a year and a half. I'd love to be wrong. I'd love to see him catch fire. I'd love for Anthony Davis to morph back into that guy. But for at least one night, I'm going to celebrate that some guy who was touted the chosen one as a 17-year-old has 38,390 points. That's what I'm going to focus on today. That seems important to me.
I'm going to focus on Taylor right now. Not yet, actually.
How many seconds, Chris?
I'm not going to focus on.
Have you done the math?
I was about to do the math, so just hold on 1 second. That's why I kept putting my finger up like, don't come to me yet.
I didn't see the finger.
Well, you should see the finger. We are at 2,820 seconds thus far.
Perfect.
Like nothing.
Went by like that.
Like nothing.
We should do it. We should do a
once a month.
No, I'm just going to say like once a decade, once a millennia. We'll just pound it out once in a while.
Commercial-free Celebration Wednesday made possible by our friends at George Chevrolet. George Chevrolet salutes the kid from Akron on becoming the league's all-time scoring leader, George Chevrolet. Also, our friends at Shakey's. Shakey's, home of the original pizza, chicken, and mojos. We thank all of them for their support today to make this happen. Right now, at 10:48 on a commercial-free Celebration Wednesday, let's play a little Ask Taylor. And Ask Taylor today, made possible by our friends at Harrah's Resort SoCal. Find your funner state of mind with a visit to Harrah's Resort SoCal, voted best resort in Funner, California. From dining to unwinding, you'll find fun around every corner. Book today at harrahssocal.com. It's time for Ask Taylor.
Let's do this.
Let's do it indeed. And like I said, if you have a request, Taylor has his fiddle, so if you want to throw that one in there, we could probably do that as well.
Can I start, Travis?
Absolutely.
All right, so Ask Taylor, hashtag Ask Taylor. So if you had to name 3 things that are like the most Iowa things, what would you say that they are?
I mean, that's kind of low-hanging fruit for it's corn, pork. Huh.
Those are the 2 I would have guessed.
You have a third one, Trav?
I don't. So farming, I mean, that's kind of a catch-all, right?
Pretty much. Fried food, any unhealthy food, Iowans know how to make it unhealthier.
Who's the most famous Iowan of all time?
Herbert Hoover.
Herbert Hoover.
Ashton Kutcher.
I did know that one. I saw.
Emily got a little excitement in her voice on that.
Hoover?
Yes, for Hoover.
We got Harrison Barnes, Keegan Murray.
I am a history major. I know who Herbert Hoover is. Okay,
Started the Depression. Congratulations.
I love that.
Easy. Timeline got screwed up.
Quietly named 2 Kings players. Did you hear that part?
How about that, though? 2 Iowans on the Kings right now.
Harrison
Right
Barnes
now?
and
Yeah.
Keegan Murray. I didn't know that.
All right, I have one more Iowa-based question. So there's a
We
trend.
don't have time.
Okay, sure. Thanks. So there's a trend on TikTok that's like, okay, this thing from my hometown would drive someone else into a coma. Like, so it's like, what is an Iowa thing that would send a California person into a coma? So is it your cinnamon rolls and chili? Is it something else that's like very uniquely weird and Iowan that we wouldn't get?
Yeah, the cinnamon rolls and chili. I mean, people kind of went haywire when they heard about that. To me, it's just, that's just a Tuesday at school lunch. It's not.
They serve that at school?
Yeah, that's where I first had it.
Oh my goodness, that'd be comatose. This is cinnamon roll
Wait.
topped
I
in
need
chili?
to interrupt this. Wait, did you just say chili on top of a cinnamon
Oh,
roll?
yeah.
No, not
that's
on top, but some people
You eat them together?
some people will dip their cinnamon roll in the chili.
Oh.
That
The
wasn't
chili
me.
has beans or no beans?
There's beans.
I think I'm going to try this weekend.
To be honest with you, it doesn't
sounds
sound
amazing.
awful.
It sounds like a heart attack.
Thank
It
you,
doesn't
Chris.
sound awful.
I might try. So,
No,
like
no.
homemade chili, or like is there a certain brand?
No, just homemade. Yeah.
Okay, you say it doesn't. It's not that awful. Have you?
It's not canned,
Have
Chris.
you consumed a cinnamon roll with chili since leaving Iowa?
I actually did this at Brent's Deli in Northridge.
Okay.
Yeah, I bought a cinnamon
Really?
roll and I bought chili.
He got
And you
kicked out of
dip
the
the
place.
dipping?
You, sir.
Get him out of here.
I'm
You
not.
know-
I'm not a dipper.
You know who
How
loved
do
a
you
good
eat it?
So I eat the chili and then I have the cinnamon roll after it.
Oh, like dessert, like
Yeah, it's-
a meal and dessert. Okay, see, that's no big deal.
Not that unusual.
No.
I'm going to dip it.
But
You
that's
know-
not how they do it
It's
in
the
Iowa.
dipping
Iowa,
part that
they're,
I'm a little-
they're dipping this in.
You know who enjoyed a good cup of chili? Columbo. In every episode.
Always comes back
Ask
to Columbo.
Taylor continues already in progress.
All right. Speaking of Iowa and speaking of the Kings, here's our next Ask Taylor. Francis says, your all-time sack Kings starting 5.
Okay, so
Slee got excited.
I'm in. Tell me more.
Slee, what?
I'm gonna put Brad Miller at my center.
Okay.
team-
Over Vlade.
Yeah, that team's
Over
not good.
Vlade.
That team's not good already.
I'm gonna put Boogie at my power forward.
Okay.
So DeMarcus Cousins. Small forward. Okay, I'm gonna have to put Tyreek Evans there, even though he plays a lot of
Is
point
C
guard.
Webb not making this team?
C Webb's not on the team for me.
Okay.
Should have went C-Webb and DeMarcus.
These
but
are
go ahead.
These are just my favorite Kings.
Okay.
I don't know how many games they're gonna win, but
It's his list, guys.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
I'm gonna put Kevin
We'll critique
Martin.
it like it's
Kevin
the,
Martin.
It's ask Taylor, not ask Sliwa.
Kevin Martin, low key, just a killer at the shooting guard.
the worst form I've ever seen in my life.
It
Yeah,
still
weird
goes
shot.
in. Slee doesn't matter. Doesn't
That's
matter,
true.
Slee. And then I'll put Bibby at my point guard.
So, Vlade,
Brad Miller,
C
oh,
Webb,
yeah, you're going.
and White Chocolate do not make this team.
Or Peja.
Or
Yeah, Page is
Peja.
not on there.
No Doug Christie.
No Turkaloo.
No Turkaloo. No Hidu's getting jammed up here. This is bull.
Was it Bobby Jackson?
Bobby
The other guy?
Jackson was really good.
No Gerald Wallace. No Isaiah Thomas.
No Domantas Sabonis. He's the one that's leading the
He
team.
just got there.
Yeah,
He's
he's,
an
too
all-star.
new. He's too new.
Just saying. By the way,
We critiqued that more than anything of the Lakers yesterday. We broke that down more
Yeah,
than
who
the
won
Lakers.
last night anyway?
The Kings?
They played tonight.
the
was
subtle
good.
little
That was good.
King's heat that he
I
throws
haven't
here.
made the playoffs
is
since
terrific.
1994.
Here's another one. This is from Chris Holmes, who writes, Taylor, the zombie apocalypse is here, and all states close their borders and fend for themselves. Which state's people last the longest?
Oh man. So are they? They're fighting each other. You said.
They're fighting the zombies.
Oh, they're fighting the zombies.
Like, a la The Last of Us.
I'm going to go with a state like Montana. I think there's a lot of wild men, wild women living up there.
Probably under good
very-
underground bunkers
very
nobody
isolated.
knows about.
Yeah.
Shelters. Yeah.
They have a lot of guns.
What about Philly? They like to fight.
Yeah, but they're not going to be smart about it. They're just going to go in for the fight rather than be more
Once the
strategic.
grocery
They
store
just
is
talk.
empty,
Yeah,
they're out of luck. Like you need somebody that can
Yeah.
not only kill, but you need somebody that can forage and
Yeah.
survive off the land.
And you don't want to just make it all ego. Like they just come out, oh, we'll kill them, and then
they're just going to climb the light pole, and then what do they do?
California, we're done.
Oh yeah, we're one of the first to go.
Yeah, we're done.
Well, we don't have the hardware necessarily. We don't have the survival skills. Montana, I think, is a really good answer. But how would Iowans do? Would they outlast the Californians?
Yeah, they would. They'd do all right. California, like you said.
50 Kings players of all time.
Chris Webber's still not on the list.
We have 3 hours, guys.
Who's coaching your all-time team? Is it Adelman?
It's got to be Adelman. Yeah,
That's awesome. Weber can't make the team.
Eric Musselman.
He'll
Put
be
him
my,
as your
he'll be my
coach.
sixth man. see what on the bench.
Chris Webber's in the Hall of Fame, right?
Yeah.
So is Vlade.
I'm pretty sure
reason.
it is.
Not Taylor's.
I'm awful at the Hall of Fame, by the way.
I don't know what this means exactly, but this is from Darb, and it says, "What's Taylor's favorite commercial? Do you have a favorite commercial of all time?"
What kind of question?
I don't know.
Whopper. Oh.
I'm not kidding. I was thinking the same thing. The burger thing. Burger King.
What was that? I think it was Cadillac, the old Super Bowl commercial with Clint Eastwood narrating it.
Oh,
you remember
yeah,
that?
I remember that one.
Yeah.
It was like, I want to say like 2014 maybe, I think. That
Yeah,
came
2014. That was a memorable one.
out.
I'll post it.
The caveman commercials are always good. So good a caveman could do it. Those
Like the
ones,
Geico ones?
Yeah, well, the one where also he was on the thing at the airport, the walking, whatever, you walk on it.
The moving walkway?
Yes, that thing. And then he sees the billboard for the Geico. It's so easy, caveman can do it. And he's like, man.
Or do you remember those Citibank commercials where it's identity theft? It's like, I'm wanted in 4 states, but it's all good. You remember that? No? Nobody?
I don't.
No, but if you could do that more often, that would be great.
I thought we were going to get like a Plop Plop Fizz Fizz or Where's the Beef or some iconic
It's
one.
too young for Where's
Yeah,
the
we're
Beef.
too old.
He went.
The ones
he
I
went
named
City-
are iconic.
He went Citibank. He went Citibank.
I do remember the caveman ones, but the airport one's pretty
Taylor, I have one. Alan Sliwa, Pasadena, California.
Why is C-Web not on the list?
What is your kind of walk us through? Taylor has a day off. What is your perfect day? What are you doing throughout your day from morning to night? Give us kind of an idea what's a perfect day for Taylor.
So I'll wake up, I don't know, 8 o'clock.
Hopefully, otherwise it's a really bad day.
Usually the first thing I
Like
do.
I wake up at 2 p.m.
Usually the first thing I do in the morning to feel good is go on a run, actually. So I'll run 2-3 miles, just, get that out of my system. Then not a big breakfast eater, so I'll get some lunch or I'll make something.
Is your lady friend that's had some good chemistry, does she appear?
Is she part of this day?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll bring her along.
Okay.
Yeah, it's going well. So I don't know. I'd say that the day that I had last weekend was ideal. Went to San Pedro, went to the beach. The beach has to be involved in some way.
I'm assuming some type of music in the evening?
Yeah, either me playing or going to a live show.
All right, I got one more for you, but first I got to tell you guys about Meat District, right? It's the big game coming up here in, what do we got, Slee? 5 days from right now. We got the big game coming up, and when you go to your grocery store, whether you're going to Stater Brothers or you're going to Ralph's, Food for Less, wherever it is you're headed, make sure that you stock up on Meat District burgers. They are the best burgers that I've ever had in my life. And look, you can put whatever you want. You could do the bacon and the caramelized onions and all the veg and all those things you like. It's a great way to do it, but for me, these things are so good. Little salt, little pepper, a little cheese on that thing, maybe a slice of onion, and you're ready to go. That's how good these burgers are. Premium burgers made with whole muscle cuts of 100% Angus beef, including brisket, chuck, short rib, tri-tip, big, bold burgers that are bursting with flavor. So go to your store today, go to Food for Less, go to Stater Brothers, all the ones that I just mentioned, and score a touchdown with your fans coming up on this Sunday. Visit eatmeatdistrict.com for recipes, locations, and more, and you can follow on Instagram at eatmeatdistrict.com for a $1 off coupon. Meat District, the better way to burger.
Hey, Trav.
Yes.
Boss here.
Yes.
I actually have a Ask Taylor.
Go.
All right, so Taylor, if you had to go to a concert with either Travis or Sliwa, just the two of you, who are you picking and why?
I don't know why. I don't think so.
You don't think Slee?
I don't know.
I think that.
If you go with Trav, you're going to have to pay for everything.
I don't think that'd be true.
It's not.
No, not at all. I don't
Very
think Trav's
generous.
cheap. I don't know.
Thrifty? Is that the word we settled on? Thrifty.
Initially I would have said Slee because I thought we had more in common musically, but as Trav's kind of opened up a little bit with his music taste, he's let me inside and let me know that
I got a few things in my repertoire.
It depends on who I'm seeing.
That's probably the best. And the other thing, like before, like
yeah, because if you go to a reggae show with him, I'm never talking to you again.
I love these guys equally. I can't choose one.
Prior to you being a non-drinker, you and I think we would have had a good time together.
Hell of a time.
I think we would have really understood each other in that moment on how to get after
I might
it
have given
after
you a
that.
run for your money on chugging, too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You got speed? I like it. I like it. One more here. If this is from JoJo Jr. Shabadoo, if you punch yourself and it hurts, does it mean you're weak or strong?
Well, in the words of Travis Rogers, can't two things be true at the same time?
That's right.
I think that you're strong. You have to be mentally strong, first of all, to punch yourself. So you're physically and mentally strong if you punch yourself and it hurts.
I don't want to find out. I'll just be weak on both sides. That works for me.
Yeah, I'm good. That was a great edition of Ask Taylor. I enjoyed that. We should do that more often. Okay, a commercial-free Celebration Wednesday made possible by our friends at Valvoline Instant Oil Change. Drive into your neighborhood Valvoline and let the expert technicians make sure your ride is in peak performance in about 15 minutes. Visit SoCalOilChange.com for locations and game-winning coupons. I was around those guys from Valvoline last night. They were telling me the story of how they ended up doing their business model.
Very
It's great.
nice.
Beautiful. Okay. We've done 1 hour, about 3,600 seconds.
Yeah.
Which means we only got 35,000 seconds to go on a commercial-free Celebration Wednesday at KSPN Los Angeles, KRDC AM 1110, Pasadena, Los Angeles.
Good evening, Laker fans, and welcome to Crypto.com Arena on what could be a historic night. Will be.
Congratulations, King. Let's go.
Justin Gonzalez from Lake Elsinore, California. Hey, man, great respect. 20 years, 20-plus years doing this, man, and I hope you break the record tonight. Deserve it all. Hard work, dedication pays off, man, and just congrats to you.
Picked up by Westbrook. Here come the Lakers 4-on-2. LeBron down the middle to the rim and in. 6 points away. Westbrook to LeBron. Put it up and in. 4 points away. 32 in the game for LeBron.
I'm Zach Khalifa. I'm from Australia, Sydney.
Australia, look at that.
Congratulations, King.
I came all the way from Australia
Yeah,
to see you break the record.
Just to watch the record. Can't wait. So excited.
Dominique Corsoff from Rancho Cucamonga, California. Congratulations, King. Hey, LeBron, I've been your biggest fan, one of your biggest fans ever since high school. I'm glad to see you break the record right here in L.A.
Here come the Lakers with 25 seconds remaining in the quarter. Westbrook with it. Give it to LeBron at the right elbow. LeBron, one-on-one against Kenrick Williams. Backing him in. Turns, shoots, scores! There it is!
Oh, hey, the new king in town.
All hail the new king in town! Young and old, gather round!
Young and old, gather round.
From one iconic Laker to another.
The King is now on top of his throne.
Congratulations, King. Congratulations, King.
Congratulations, King.
Congratulations to LeBron James, making history last night at Crypto.com.
LeBron James has passed the captain.
Today, we celebrate the King with a commercial-free Celebration Wednesday. Celebrating the King making history with 38,388 straight seconds of non-stop, commercial-free Mega Sports Talk. A commercial-free Celebration Wednesday on the home of the King, 710 ESPN.
Yes, indeed. A commercial-free Celebration Wednesday is on. Be sure to watch the show live on YouTube. Just search ESPN LA. Coming up at 11:30, Factor Cap with producer Emily. We still got Super Crosstalk today at 12:45 or 12:55. And at 2 p.m., a very special surprise for our boss, the great Amanda Brown. We'll do that at 2 o'clock.
She just said, what? In here.
So that's all coming up. But I hear there's an Ask Taylor to continue.
There is one more that I want to get to. This kind of puts together your music side, Taylor. Taylor is working karaoke, and the singer is horrible. Do you use your DJ skills to cut him off, or do you sit back and watch the Titanic sink?
It's fun to watch it crash and burn sometimes, but when I used to do this when I lived in Wisconsin about 9 years ago, and my trick would be to have another mic. So I would turn them down a little bit and then just sing over them.
Oh, you would kind of make it a duet?
Yeah.
It's like
just in the back there
it's like
without
when
them
you were
knowing.
when you were a kid and you're trying to play video games, and you got like a little cousin that wants to play, you just unplug their controller, but you give them the controller.
Exactly, Slee. You get
kind of the same thing.
Yeah.
It sounds like something that like so. Remember, you guys remember that
My
story
mic
of
is
me-
not on. It's been off for the whole show.
Remember that story of me when I told my mom that I wanted to do the national anthem, and then she was like, "Oh, let's just get someone else to sing with you because she has a powerful voice or whatever." It's essentially what Taylor is doing, trying to overpower
Your
me.
mom told you to find a partner?
Yes, she got someone to sing with me. She didn't want to ruin my confidence.
Can you sing?
I did choir, and I did through high school.
Okay.
So.
I mean, if you
I'm not
call
gonna do
that
it right
singing,
now.
I mean, she obviously.
If you want to sing the anthem to kick off tomorrow's show, it's
Maybe
all
it
yours.
works. I think there's something here. For
You
sure.
should
I
do,
was gonna say.
you
May's
should
got
do
that. May's
all
got
of
that.
Taylor
I
May.
think it's like a 7-10 talent show.
I like that. By the way, the national anthem last night. I don't know who was on the saxophone, but it was incredible. One of the greatest national anthem performances ever last night. I'll have to look that up and find out who it was. I should have done that before I said it.
I don't know who it was either.
But it was incredible. Did you hear it?
I was in the media room when that was going on.
PB&J?
Did not PB&J.
Fail.
Just kind of
Did
loaded
anyone
up
dip
on.
into like the French dip?
No, nobody did this time.
Okay, good.
You heard that story, right?
I did.
By the way,
Do you want to tell it again? It's like a Mason Island bit. Just keep telling the same story.
Just go in the media room. It was pulled pork. The guy just standing there decided to grab a roll, cut the roll, and take his hand and physically get about knuckle deep in some pulled pork.
Knuckle deep.
And just grab some pork like it was his own freaking thing. And I was next in line.
Oh, and that's when I said it was Larry Stewart, right?
It was. Yes, I have a story for you.
Okay, real quick. Real quick.
Yes.
Next Wednesday,
Knuckle deep,
I know.
Al?
It's disgusting. I know Tuesday, lit. We know all
Valentine's
that.
Day lit. We got a lot planned for that already.
All right, so Wednesday, we've got a lot of requests for you for an Ask Morales.
Hey.
Oh, yeah.
No.
Come on, Chris.
No.
You know
Why
these
not?
questions. They got so many
Much like
questions
when it was
for
my
you.
birthday, I told our executive assistant Stephanie I don't do the email with like all about you.
Yeah.
Like the company email that they were like, "Oh, what's your favorite color? Or why are
Yep.
you in radio?" I don't do that stuff. I don't want people deeper into me.
You want to random mystery?
So
You
now
can
we
make
definitely
jokes.
have to do this. Chris, you have to take it seriously. We just did Taylor. You saw how it works. We need one Ask Morales.
While I consider it, I believe we have a game that producer Emily has
That's a
planned out,
dodge.
and I'm excited about this one.
That is
so
a
take it
dodge.
away, producer Emily.
Okay.
It's the first time I've seen
Just
you really
I
duck
know.
and cover on
I thought he
something.
was going to
Me
say,
too.
well, no, let's do it at
Me
11:15.
too.
He likes
Yeah.
to be mysterious.
I guess so.
Well, we'll try to get at that one. So it is
Disappointing.
it is John Williams' 91st birthday today. He is also the most Oscar-nominated person of all time. He has 53 Oscar nominations. So crazy stuff. So I know that we all, love movies, love classic movies, love Spielberg movies, and a lot of the times they work together. So I have a list of about 10 songs or like scores that I want you to pinpoint the movie that it's from. And I have a little prize for you guys. So the winner of this competition between, I guess, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of you all gets a gets a 2-minute break at some time in the show that they can dole out whenever they want.
Good idea.
Okay, so it doesn't have to happen right away, but you have a 2-minute break at some point in time. So we're gonna start this off.
How do we just yell it out if we know
name
it?
is a buzzer.
Let's
right?
do.
You want to do name, or
You have
do
to
you
do
want
the
to go
peacock
around and,
noise.
like,
Whoever
see
does the
everybody gets a guess.
peacock noise.
And I've been told I can't officially play, so I'm just here for the fun of
No, Chris, I just said because you'll win.
Okay,
Because you're good with this stuff.
Let's do. Everybody gets a guess, and I will mark down if you get it right. So if you get it right, you get a point either way. Do you like that way, or do we want to do
Name is your buzzer.
first?
I think name is your
Name is
buzzer
your
is a
buzzer.
better
Yeah,
way
just
to
do
do it.
name.
it.
Yeah,
I like
yeah.
the peacock sound.
Okay. All right. Name is your
That can be your buzzer, Chris.
name is your buzzer. All right. So here is the first one.
Sliwa.
Travis, Superman.
Yep, you're right. Travis
Sliwa.
gets the first one. All right. 1
Sliwa,
point for
Die Hard
Travis.
2. That was
right.
coming. It was good. That one had to come.
So this next one might be a little harder because it's one of my favorite movies of all time.
Travis.
All right, Travis.
I'm going based purely on your clue.
Read that one, too.
Is it National Treasure?
It is not National Treasure. Well, I'm going to keep it playing, but you have another guess.
Sliwa, this is so not it. I know it's not it, but I'm just going to make a guess. It's not Indiana Jones,
It
right?
is not Indiana Jones.
That doesn't even sound like
That-
Indiana
yeah,
Jones.
that's not even
Yeah.
close.
Yeah, just throw
Sliwa.
something out
Haven't
there.
you been on the ride at Disneyland?
Sounded close enough to
Okay,
it.
it is 30 seconds into this clip. I'm going to give you all a hint. It has a very famous actor who plays a fantasy character.
Taylor.
Yes?
Hook.
Yep, you're right. Ding, ding, ding. It is Hook. It's one of my favorite movies of all
I don't
time.
think I ever saw Hook.
I didn't either.
It was like a mid-90s. Dustin Hoffman
It was
plays
good.
Captain
It was
Hook.
good.
All right, so that is the Hook theme. All right, here's this.
Such a sick game.
Hey,
Love this game.
The Hook brings you back, as Bruce Trav.
maybe if you were better at it,
I'm
then
gonna
you would
miss
like
these.
this more.
Well, that's the point. That was the point of what I said.
Heat, right?
I'm gonna
Wait, don't
miss
get
all these.
excited. Don't get excited.
All right,
Calm
next
down.
one. Next one.
Travis.
No, I did. Yeah.
Chris.
Okay, Chris
That's the
first.
ET theme.
Yes, it's E.T. We got Chris with E.T.
Yeah.
Was that your
That sounded like you were strangling a
I was
peacock.
petrified as E.T. as a
Like a
child. I was scared of
drowning
everything
duck.
as a young child, shockingly.
Of-
My mother tortured me by putting an E.T. doll in my room, and I'd scream and run out.
Maybe now we really
Maybe
need
that's
to do
what's
Ask
wrong
Morales.
with you.
Now we really need to get into it.
And then she would just look at me like we'd be at the dinner table and go, E.T. phone home, and I'd start crying.
I'm so sorry.
So that's why you're all messed up.
Yeah.
Man.
All right, here is.
We're definitely doing it next Wednesday. We're just gonna keep calling you. We'll come to your
We're
house.
bringing the doll in here.
We'll bring the Comrex to
Oh,
your house.
yeah, bring an ET doll.
All right, here's the next one.
Travis.
Oh, no.
Jurassic Park.
Yes,
Oh, yeah, I should
Jurassic
actually-
Park.
We got to let it build, though. For the history of the morning show, we got to let it build. We used to play this for Key when he was getting upset.
Yes, we did.
Are you waiting for me to do this? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
All right. So
we'll bring it back later.
the next one.
We got time.
Plenty of time.
That's the keyword for today. So the next one is.
Taylor,
All right, Taylor.
Harry Potter.
Oh,
Yes,
dang it, I knew that one.
I knew
I
that
wouldn't have
Taylor
gotten
would
Harry
get this
Potter.
one.
I don't think it would have either.
I've never seen
I
any
think
of those.
Jurassic Park was the only one. I needed it to play for another 3 minutes. That's the only one that I think I would have got.
See what you and I rock.
You've never seen Harry Potter?
No.
Why?
I got a lady friend that wants to make me want to watch all 4
What?
of them or something.
Don't do it.
But
I
do
thought
we?
that was
yeah,
going somewhere else.
Does
I
do
thought
we?
she was going to make you dress like Harry Potter.
Is
Oh,
that
maybe. You never know.
The
Stand in the
glasses
corner.
and the little.
is that
Yeah,
one in
with a-
your
carry a
world
wand.
that you have to see? That was never one.
I've
in
never
my
seen
world.
it. I didn't read the books. I haven't seen the movies.
Yeah, I haven't either.
I've seen
Okay.
them all.
Well, I'm
Are there dragons?
dragons? Okay, I'm surprised though that Travis,
Goblins?
your kids weren't into Harry Potter. That was
Bob,
their age
Bobby a
group.
little bit into the books, but not
Until
the
you
movies.
yelled at him.
I yelled at him all the time.
Don't wash it in my house.
Still do.
Okay, next one you're gonna get in the first beat.
Amanda.
Travis.
Taylor.
I'm gonna give it to Amanda just because
Wait.
she hasn't gotten
Nope,
any points.
I just forgot. It just totally
Taylor.
lost it in my
No,
mind.
I already beat you, Taylor.
It is Travis. What is it?
Star Wars.
It
Yeah.
is.
I was like,
Star
I lost that
Wars.
quick.
Okay. Next one.
Travis.
Taylor.
Travis.
Jaws.
It
Damn it.
is Jaws.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Okay.
You and I are just slow.
I just waited for him to say Travis, and then I
We're
said
slow to
Jaws.
process.
Okay.
Yeah, this takes.
This next one, someone has to win besides Travis. I'm gonna give this one someone not Travis.
Travis,
okay?
you can't answer.
All right.
Why did you get a penalty?
He's in the penalty box.
That's Indiana Jones.
It is Indiana Jones.
I needed
that.
this
I
part
needed
to
that
kick
part.
in.
get it,
I needed
guys.
that part, too.
I was trying to see if anybody really knows it. I know you can get it at a certain point, but okay.
I was just at the ride like a month ago. So
All right, I have 2 more left. Just 2 more left, guys.
Am I eligible?
Am I
Sliwa
mathematically
and I should
eliminated?
just not play.
Okay, Travis, you are eligible. Okay, how the score is right now? It's 1, 2, 3, 4 for Travis, 2 for Taylor. So
By the way,
has-
Taylor can't have a 2-minute break.
Yeah, he could. He's not playing any
I just took one.
I think by default you just won.
Right, and then Chris is 2. All right, so we got 2 left. So both Chris and Taylor can come back. I'm sorry, Amanda and Alan, you're eliminated.
We're okay with that.
You're eliminated.
Your mom's eliminated.
All right.
Beverly Hills
Can you-
Cop.
is it up, Taylor?
what?
Taylor.
All right, Taylor.
Is this Home Alone?
It is Home
Really?
Alone.
I would have gotten that wrong. Good job.
All right.
It's a good
okay.
pull right there.
So this is for all the marbles. It's between Taylor and Travis.
Well, it's 4-3 right now. Is that
Yeah.
where we are?
It's 4-3. So
Do you
if
have a
Taylor gets this
tiebreaker?
right-
What is it
I'd
with
have
you?
to look up tiebreaker.
Well, she said all the marbles are going to be tied at 4.
or they both get to go out a 2-minute break
There
at some
go.
point in time in the show. Okay, so
We'll split it. 1
this
minute.
is the,
1
this is
minute
the
each. There you go.
last one.
Travis.
Go ahead.
Close Encounters.
Yep. Ding ding ding. It is
Damn.
Close Encounters of the Third Kind. So Travis wins. He gets a 2-minute break at some point in time in the show that he can
I'm
dole
going
out
to take it
whatever
in
he wants.
15-second increments.
How many
That is not eligible.
How many snacks from the snack room? can
Oh,
you
come
fit
on.
in
That's
2
not
minutes?
cool, bro.
Well, if it was you, I was going to say how many Lakers highlights can you fit in 2 minutes?
If it was you, I'd say how much bacon you're going to eat at the next.
I need to get back on the bacon, but I'm enjoying the fasting and then just eating whatever I want. I'm not losing weight, but I'm staying flat. So
Staying
that's
flat.
fine.
Like DeMarco says, you're playing for the tie.
Exactly. A celebration commercial-free Wednesday is made possible by our friends at Go Safely California. Congrats to the king. Go Safely California.
Okay, so I got a question for you.
Hit me.
Let's see where we are now. So we were just talking about this. Bron breaks he's top 4 in assists.
Yep.
Number 1 in scoring. You think that he goes another couple of years, easy, no problem. He'll play at least 2 more years.
That's what he said.
But 2 more years, that's his Laker contract, so that's not
Yeah.
even going off of anything crazy.
No.
You had mentioned, somebody put this up on Twitter, and I apologize, I forgot who it was, said, what do you think is more likely to happen? Somebody breaking LeBron James, his record, the scoring record, or someone breaking Wilt and scoring 100 points? I didn't even really hesitate. I kind of thought about it for a second. Wouldn't the Wilt thing be more... I think the Wilt thing would happen before the Bron thing. The Wilt thing is you just need some things to go your way. I'm not saying.
Right.
But Kobe put up 81.
Yeah.
Kobe did it at a time where it wasn't even just a 3-point driven league.
Yep.
Right? This was at a time 15 years ago, whatever it was, right? That in today's NBA, it's not uncommon to have somebody have 50 points. Well, you can't do that. I mean, your paces pretty much have to be...
You guys scored 25 a quarter, right? I mean, it's a ton of points. Like, to your point about
Problem
Kobe.
is the longevity of what Bron is doing.
I think the answer is neither are ever coming down. But the answer of which is more likely to come down, I think it's Wilt for one reason. It's one night where everything breaks. It's one night.
Not 20 years.
To do what LeBron does, you need 20. By the way, it's going to take more than 20 years. He's not done yet. He's going to keep going. By the time he's done, he's going to have 22, 23, maybe 24 seasons. And by the way, even if he starts to decline, he's going to be averaging 25 a night, 20 a night. So you'd have to have basically perfect luck because, knocking on wood, LeBron has been remarkably durable, hasn't missed a ton of time. You need to be the best player in the league for a quarter century. It's not going to happen.
No, it's not going to happen.
Now, the other way to look at this is to score 100 points in a game, you got to make 33 threes. Okay? So it's absurd.
Can I say something about Bron, which LeBron is also setting a complete new standard of longevity, of how your body in today's technology, and listen,
Yes.
other players would be able. So I think what we're seeing Bron do, like anything, this just happens with anything, like we're seeing today of what Bron's being able to do with his body and how he's been able to just have this longevity. People are going to copy what Bron is doing. I'm not saying it's going to be identical. I'm not saying it's going to be exact, but there's a couple challenges you're going to have with that. Bron has a body built like Karl Malone, and he plays the game the way he does. Now, will there be other players that come into this league? Probably in the next 30 years, something like that. The other problem is guys just don't play like this anymore. They don't play this many minutes. They don't play any. They just. It's not a good business decision for some of these guys. They do the load management.
So much money now that I don't need to play that extra 4 or 5 years to put an extra few $1,000,000 in the bank. Anybody good enough to do this will be making $60-70 million a year. We're getting really close to seeing a $60 million a year player.
Oh, yeah.
So the money becomes something else. The other part, and we're going to take your phone calls coming up here. Keep in mind, we are commercial-free all day, so if you want to get in, call at any time. We're going to take as many as we can, 877-710-3776, 877-710-ESPN. The part that doesn't get mentioned with LeBron, the part that doesn't get mentioned with Tiger Woods, Michael Jordan, it's not just that they were given physical gifts that no one else was. They were. Okay, Michael Jordan and Tiger Woods and LeBron James, wherever you think these things come from, whether it's from genetics or God or a combination of the two, whatever it is, they were given the winning lottery ticket genetically, right? Big, strong, fast. Okay? Only a handful of people get that. The other part that you have to have is the part that makes you downright pathologically competitive. Not just I want to win, or I want to play a long time, or I want to make a lot of money, or I want to win championships. It's not that. I have to. I don't know any other way to do it. I have to do this. I have to keep pushing myself to that next level. Human beings, generally speaking, when they reach a certain level of success and have all this money and notoriety, we take our foot off the gas.
Of course.
You want to relax. You want to enjoy these things. Tiger Woods never relaxed. LeBron James hasn't relaxed. Kobe Bryant never relaxed. They just keep pushing to a point that is unnatural, quite frankly. Now you need both of those things in the same guy. Okay? That's a handful of human beings that we've ever seen. Now, one last thing, you got to get super lucky. All three of those things, they don't come around. That's why LeBron is LeBron. It's why Tiger was Tiger. It's why these guys are so extraordinary, and we cherish their performances the way that we do. You need to go 3 for 3 in things that are 1 in a billion here, 1 in a billion here, 1 in a billion here. You need to hit all three. That's how you get to be LeBron James. Not just by being – there's been a million guys that are great players, but not that had the drive, not that had the luck, and certainly not that had all three. That's where those guys are
Is this why you
different.
tell me every morning, Al, I got more money than you could think of in the bank.
It's
I
me.
don't need
That's
to be
me.
here.
That's right.
I don't need to be here. I want to be here.
That's why when Bobby's back window in his car broke, I said, that's on you, bro.
Tape it up.
It's got a piece of cardboard over it.
Tape it up.
Cardboard and duct tape, holding that window shut right now. How'd it break? I don't know. Well, I guess that's on you then.
Okay, this is interesting because this was this week for the Lakers. I'm going to read off a tweet we got from Woj within the last hour or so. This was this week, Trav. This week you had, or within the last 7 days, Friday we're doing a show and the news comes out that Kyrie Irving wants out of Brooklyn. Friday and Saturday, there's the discussions and the conversations. Hey, there's a few teams here involved. Lakers are definitely one of those teams involved. Sunday, we get the news he's going to Dallas. Saturday, Lakers lose a game to the Pelicans, that Pels team that had lost 10 games in a row. Then you got kind of the devastation of, man, that was really disappointing. You thought you were going to get Kyrie for a second. Then you have LeBron James is going after the record at crypto. He breaks it last night, passes Kareem. Tomorrow, by the way, is the NBA trade deadline. At noon is the cutoff for the deadline.
Noon our time or noon Eastern?
Noon our time.
Okay.
Noon our time. And I'm going to read this quote here from Woj put up on Twitter. So this just kind of curtails all the different things going around the Lakers over the last couple of days. ESPN sources. Lakers guard Russell Westbrook and coach Darvin Ham had a brief, heated verbal exchange in the halftime locker room on Tuesday versus OKC. Ham expressed frustration with how Westbrook lingered on the playing floor after getting subbed out of a game late in the second quarter. Voices were raised in the locker room, but discussion turned back to trying to win a game versus the Thunder, sources said. Ham closed game with Westbrook, who had a season-high 14 points in the fourth. Ham and Westbrook dapped up prior to leaving arena later in the night. Listen, I know we can make stories of things because it's Lakers basketball and there's cameras everywhere and you're trying to find, hey, is this an issue? This is not. Anthony Davis, let me use as a perfect example. How about all the videos that were going around about AD
we'll get to that.
when Braun broke the record and everything else? Okay, so let me just hit this one real quick. You and I chatted a little bit about, I know Russ has been in trade talk basically the moment he signed with the Lakers and you were 4 games in and you didn't think it was going to work and it's like, all right, should we trade him?
Should have.
So they've been in conversations about Russ now for a long, long time, trade rumors. What happened on Friday and Saturday about, hey, go get Kyrie, even Braun, you heard him publicly talk about how great of a player Kyrie is, all that stuff. Russ would be that deal, right? So for Russ to just kind of walk back into the locker room, everything's okay, and if tomorrow, Thursday at noon passes and Russ is still on this, on this Lakers team, on this roster, it's just a weird dynamic. I don't know how else to describe it. I'm not trying to... the Lakers are in a really interesting position, and there are individual storylines. There's a team that's below 500. There's Braun passing Kareem. There's the trade deadline coming tomorrow. A lot of things happening this week, all associated with the Lakers.
Yeah, there are. I'm not a Russell Westbrook fan, and I've never liked the idea of him coming here in the first place. Not because he's a bad guy or a bad player. I just thought it was a bad fit, and I think that's been borne out. But I'm going to defend him for a second here on this one. That stuff happens all the time. Coaches and players in professional sports, they raise their voices to one another. This isn't Little League where it's a 10-year-old screaming at some dad. This isn't high school where it's, a 17-year-old yelling at the basketball coach because, he got taken out of the game and there's a weird moment. These are two grown men, both competitive, both making a lot of money, both been around this league a long time. They both see things a certain way, and sometimes voices get raised. It's not that big of a deal. The fact that, now, had there been physical confrontation, it's different. Had this been they didn't speak to each other the rest of the night, it would be different. Had it been he never put Russ back in the game, it would be different. Had it been the Lakers are now actively trying to trade Russell Westbrook, it would be different. I don't like the way you came off the floor. Man, I'm doing fine. No, you're not. When I want you, it's nothing. It's nothing. This stuff happens. This is the equivalent of when two baseball players in the dugout punch each other. Happens. It happens. It just happened to be in a place where we could see it once in a while. I really. Now,
is it more of a story because it's Lakers and Russ?
It's more of a story because it's Russ. If Russ did this in Atlanta, it would still be a story. But it's a combination of the two. Yeah, it's Russell Westbrook, who is volatile at times, and it's the Lakers, who, if they serve hot dogs instead of cheeseburgers at lunch, it's a story. It's a combination of the two things. LeBron James is your all-time NBA leading scorer. He's got 38,390 points and counting, and it was an extraordinary event last night, which Ken in Tarzana was there to see firsthand. Ken, you're on with Trav and Slee. What's going on?
Hi, guys. Well, I go back to the Lakers, to the Elgin Baylor Jerry West days. I was a Laker ball boy when Kareem was in his first year, when Riley was on the team. So I've seen a lot of games around the court in the 80s. Last night was very, very unique. What I would liken it to is the 92 All-Star game when Magic came back after being out. And it was, as you said, the coronation of the king. And actually, to me, it actually reminded me, I went to the game when Pujols hit home run 699, 700. We didn't win that game. We were 1 of 162. Last night we were 1 of 82. But it was just amazing. The crowd, every time he had the ball, I agree, you guys have really hit the nail on the head there. Also, in terms of LeBron all-time, just think of this. In terms of the all-time assist leaders, Oscar Robertson is 8. LeBron's 1. Oscar's 13 in scoring. No one else puts that package anywhere close to those two. And for the future, Durant is 14, and Harden is 27. Durant's 12,000 points behind LeBron. I would agree, too, that the 100 is more likely to be broken. Of course, the toughest one's going to be John Stockton, because he's on nearly 4,000 assists ahead of Jason Kidd. But one other thing in terms of folks and what's living up to the hype, Bryce Harper is close, but he's no Mike Trout. John Elway was number 1 at a high school in football, and he came really close.
I want to jump in right here, Ken, because you bring up a couple of interesting things. Number one, Bryce Harper was touted like that, and he's had a wonderful career, but he's not Willie Mays. He would have had to have become Willie Mays to do what LeBron has done.
Right, because you're comparing Bron to literally the Willie Mays of the...
What John Elway did was extraordinary. He went to, 5 Super Bowls and won 2 of them. He'd need to be Tom Brady. This is what these guys have done. They're not just... There have been guys that have been highly regarded coming out of their minor leagues or college or high school or whatever, but that have not ascended to become the great... Tiger Woods, greatest of all time. Serena Williams, greatest of all time. LeBron James, arguably greatest of all time. Bryce Harper is a great player.
And the Tom Brady, different type of story, right? No one knew that he was going to do anything, and he ended up being the greatest. But the paths are completely different.
All right. Commercial free. We got Tristan Thompson coming up in just a little bit. We'll talk to him, one of LeBron's teammates when he was in Cleveland. Cleveland 2.0 along the way. But let me remind you that if you are hurt in an accident, there's really only one thing for you to do. After you make sure that you and everybody else is okay, you got to call Sweet James, 800-500-5200. If you are hurt in an accident, that call that you make is everything. So why not call the firm that's been awarded Best Attorneys in America? That's Sweet James. Why not call the firm that has nearly 20 years of experience? That's Sweet James. Why not call the firm that has collected over $1 billion in settlement? Yes, that too is Sweet James. You're going to get your car taken care of. You're going to get the medical treatments that you need and life-changing settlements. Do not take on that insurance company by yourself. You don't pay a dime until they win your case. Sweet James is the call you need to make if you are hurt in an accident. 800-500-5200 and sweetjames.com. I think of all the things. It's funny. I was thinking about this too, Slee, when he passed the record last night. And for me, and I don't know if you feel the same way, but for me, when you think of LeBron James, I don't think of a scorer. I think of like a complete basketball player. He makes the right plays, a great teammate. He dishes the ball. He plays defense. It's like I don't think of him as a scorer. You think of KD scoring. You think of Kobe scoring. With LeBron, it's just this total package of a player. And he's the all-time leading scorer. It's extraordinary.
All right, let's welcome in somebody who played with LeBron James for a number of years, won an NBA championship with LBJ, Tristan Thompson, joining us here on the Travis and Sliwa Show. Tristan, thanks so much for taking the time. We greatly appreciate it.
No problem. Appreciate you guys having me, fellas.
Okay, let me start with this, because I think it's one thing for us to give our perspective, and we're watching the game and analyzing the game, all that stuff. You're somebody that was a teammate with LBJ. You won a championship with LeBron James. You can speak from a player perspective as best as you can. How would you comprehend the last 12 hours? How do you soak in what you got a chance to see, not just last night, but LBJ as a player that's been in this league for 20 years?
I mean, what I think about is just the perfection of the craft. I think, last night, it's like winning a championship, right? It's that moment that's the most important. It's the special moment. But I think, and I know for Bron, what plays back in his head is what it took to get there, what it takes to get there, where, every year he tries to come back with something added to his game. When he played against Dallas in the finals with the Heat and they fell short, the following year, he started learning how to post up, be able to score on the block. When they lost to the Spurs, his final year with the Heat, he wanted to become a better three-point shooter. So when he came back to Cleveland, he started shooting more threes, got with Damon Jones. Every year he wants to get better. I think that's why he's able to play at such a high level for such a long period of time, because he's dedicated his life to the game of basketball. And I think that's what's going through his head at that moment, because it's unreal. I remember just talking to him last night. He's just like, little bro, like, I can't believe I was able to do this.
Tristan Thompson is our guest here on Travis and Sliwa. You were a teammate of his for a long time. You were in the league with him for a long time. And as a fellow NBA player, how often did you see him do something and go, oh, wait, did I just see what I just saw? How often did he do something that said, I'm not even quite sure that I've ever seen that before?
Oh, a lot of times, especially in the playoffs. I mean, in the playoffs, the numbers that he was putting up, averaging 40, 12, and 13, and leading every category. First of all, I was mad about the rebounds, because that's would be my thing. But one thing about Bron, he's gonna do those come from the 3-point line and come in and get those rebounds with his 6'9", 280 frame. And I was like, oh man, he's just gonna take all the rebounds. But seeing those kind of performances and the alley-oops and the fast break with JR and at Staples Center, or the block against Atlanta, or the jumper against the Bulls in the playoffs when we were down 2-1. Those moments, you see it on TV, or you see it in the Michael Jordan DVDs of his greatness, but be able to see it in person and be a teammate of his and see it on a nightly basis is just like, wow. It's like, sometimes you'd be like, this guy's not real. He's not human. The fact that he's able to bleed, I was like, at least it's real blood. At least the blood was red. I know he's human.
Tristan, I'm curious to get your thoughts on this. When you think of Bron, Travis and I spent a lot of time on this, and I think every time we talk about LeBron, if I try to, first thing that comes to mind about his game, what do you think of? Because he is top 4 all-time in assists. He is the number 1 scoring leader all-time, passing Kareem yesterday. He is, like you mentioned, a rebounder, a defender. When you just look at the totality of his game, what do you think of? What is he best at? Of all the things that he can do, what sticks out to you the most of his attributes in the game?
What sticks out the most with LeBron, it's a gift that the two guys that come to the top of my head, well, including him, is LeBron and Steve Nash. And what they can do is elevate everyone else's game and have their teammates play better than what people expect. And I think that's what makes LeBron different than the late great Kobe Bryant, and makes him different than Michael Jordan. LeBron, if you look at all LeBron's teams, minus the Miami Heat team, even if you look at their roster, it was Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh, and after that it got there was no middle ground. It kind of went down to, that minimum guys. But he's able to do a lot with less compared to the other guys that we mentioned in this category, or guys that are in that same realm of the greatest of all time. The fact that he has Matthew Dellavedova outplay Steph Curry in game 4 of an NBA Finals. If you had to bet your life savings on it, you'd say there's no way possible that could happen. But with LeBron, he's able to get guys to play at a level that people would never even imagine. And I think that's what makes him so great, that he's able to elevate everyone's game and put guys in position to bring the most out of them and play the best basketball that they're capable of playing.
Tristan Thompson is our guest here on Travis and Sliwa. We're, of course, celebrating LeBron passing Kareem last night. 38,390 points and counting, the all-time leading scorer in NBA history. It was nearly 40 years from the time that Kareem broke the record to what happened last night. We were talking about this earlier, Tristan. You never want to say never, because, we always get the next great player. But is this record up there for good? Because he's still going. By the time it's all said and done, he could have 43,000 points. Or are we going to see somebody come within 100 miles of this thing?
I honestly believe it's going to be tough. I mean, put it like this. We might not be around it, and we might not be living to see it. Mm-hmm. But I think, talking to him and knowing him, he's still feeling good. He wants to extend this number as far as he can, because like a competitor like he is, he doesn't want nobody to catch it. Of course, it's like if he's going to not be able to get, 6 rings like MJ, I know for sure he's going to make sure that scoring number is going to be very far away for anyone in our current league to even come close to that. So I think, it's going to be, if I had to guess, it's going to be at least another 50 years for us to see a guy even close to even catching Kareem. Now it's, can anyone catch Kareem? I don't know, but to catch LeBron, and then he's probably going to give us at least another 2-3 more years at a high level. If he's averaging 20 points per game, like you said, it's going to be in the 40,000. I don't think anyone can get to that number right now.
Tristan, I'm curious, just players around the league. Is he setting players that look at longevity and look at being in the league for, in the past, listen, if you had a 12-year career, that's a great career in the NBA, in the National Basketball Association. Bron, like you just mentioned, he's in his 20th year. He's still averaging 30 points a game. I'm not saying it's got to be a LeBron James type player, but how are players now looking at the league? Are they starting to look at, wait a minute, what Bron is doing, the way he takes care of his body? Do you think we'll see more athletes that are around like this that still, even at this stage of their career, are playing at this type of level? Or is this just kind of, look, you can look at whether it was Michael Jordan or it was Vince Carter or it was Tim Duncan or it was Dirk or it was Kobe. By the time they're in their 20th season, it's kind of a farewell tour. That's really, the concept there. Is this something that's just specific to Bron, or do you think a lot of players are really trying to take a blueprint of what LeBron's doing, not from a skill perspective, but a longevity perspective?
I honestly think it's a one of one. I think it's what makes him special. Of course, everyone knows the articles come out about spending over $1 million on rehab and taking care of his body. And listen, anyone can cut. Especially when I'm talking to NBA players, everyone can cut a check for that amount to pay for the trainers and the upkeep, but it's the time and effort. It's are you going to want to be in the ice tub at 3:30 a.m. after a first game of back-to-back landing in OKC and staying at the Hilton Skirvine? Are you want to get in that cold tub at 3:30 when you're tired and you play OKC in 8 hours? Like it's those situations that Bron made sure was non-negotiable, and he made sure he got his treatment. That it's tough for other players to do that, and guys have tried, but I always see guys like they'll do it for 3 months or 6 months or a year, and then they stop because it's just the amount of time and effort that he puts towards that. I just got to give a tip my hat to his family that, like he's able to take care of himself to play at a high level, but also be the amazing father, husband, and leader he is of his household. So guys could want to do that and think if they do that, they're going to get to play as long as he is. But I honestly think that's what makes him special, is that it's the hours that we don't hear about or we don't see tweet about him that makes him one of one.
Tristan, last one for you. Do you have a favorite memory of his, whether it's on the court, off the court, just when you think of him, the one that puts the biggest smile on your face?
The chase down block on Andre Iguodala.
Yeah, that's a good answer. That's a good answer.
Cleveland, this one's for you. That's going to be cemented in forever in our sport, and we'll definitely hear it at his Hall of Fame when they run the clip.
Tristan Thompson, a longtime teammate of LeBron James. Tristan, appreciate your time.
Thank you, man.
Thanks so much.
Gentlemen, thank you so much. You guys take care.
You got it. Of course, that's a very, very good answer because this is what he's talking about.
I set out a goal 2 years when I came back to bring a championship to this city. I gave everything that I had. I poured my heart, my blood, my sweat, my tears to this game, and against all odds, I don't know why we want to take the hardest road. I don't know why the man above gives me the hardest road, but it's nothing the man above don't put you in situations that you can't handle. And I just kept that same positive attitude, like instead of saying why me, they're saying this is what he want me to do. And Cleveland, this is for you.
That was his answer, right? The chase down block in that moment. And it's probably the answer for all the guys that were on that team, all the people that were in Cleveland. It's the wonderful thing. There's probably 100 different good answers.
Here's the thing. You don't even have to be a Cavs fan to know that's one of the most iconic moments in NBA history, right? So if you say, hey, give me a moment in LeBron in his history that stands out to you most, probably 7 out of 10 answers is going to be that Iguodala block.
He led the series in everything.
Yeah, that's
pick
pretty
one.
good.
Who led? LeBron. Doesn't matter. Defense? No, him. LeBron.
He probably didn't lead in turnovers. That was the only one he didn't lead in.
You're probably right about that.
It is a commercial-free Celebration Wednesday on 710 ESPN, going until 9 p.m. Be sure to watch us live if you want. Go to YouTube, search ESPN LA. Thanks to our friend Call Jacob. Winning matters, especially after an accident. At calljacob.com, we are here for you when you need a big win. After an accident, go to calljacob.com or call 844-24-JACOB. That's 844-24-JACOB. 6,120 seconds thus far, which leaves us with about 32,200 seconds.
Like nothing.
By the way, feel a second over 5,000.
Trav did mention he wants to come back at 7. He wants to do also 7 to 9 commercial
With
free.
the cams?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, he's in.
Not really, but sure.
Not really, but sure. You know what it is time for?
What's that?
It's time for Factor Cap.
Oh, that's cap. That's so cap, Dad. Everything I've said is a cap, but I'm going to go fact.
First of all, it's not a cap. It's
no, it
just
is a cap.
Welcome to Factor Cap.
Hey guys, so I have a lot of Factor Caps today. We got a lot of people participating. We got Amanda, we got Chris in the house, and some of them are LeBron focused, and then a lot of them are sourced from my friends. So I texted my friends and I kind of explained them what the concept of the segment is, and they're like, "Cool, got it." A lot of them we've already done, but I have some, and I'll give them a shout out when we get to that place. So, you remember this commercial?
Training in the pool.
Baby, we can go anytime. You just let me know what's good for you.
You can't get through Detroit training in no pool. You think Michael trained in the pool? No, I don't think so. Stop looking at my lemonade.
So good.
Here I come, cannonball!
Oh, gee, got pop sweat.
Don't make me get out of this seat.
Come on in!
He won't get in the water. He don't want to get his hair wet. Pretty boy.
Hold that thought. I'm gonna call you back.
Oh, Lord.
All right, so this is LeBron's best commercial.
He was about to go in the pool.
Well, okay, it doesn't have any sound. All right, Travis.
No splash.
It's the best LeBron commercial by a mile.
Yeah.
It's terrific because all of the characters that he's playing, like it's hard to pick your favorite one. Is it the little skinny little kid LeBron? Is it the super cool like funk master guy that ultimately does the dive?
Is it the uncle or the dad or whatever?
Everything about it is terrific. Yes, it's a fact times 100.
I say Cap because I loved the Beats one he did where he was in the gym. This was probably 2015. And Take Me to Church was playing. Remember that?
Yeah, that's
it was like
good, too.
dark and angry, like me.
That's because you just liked to watch him working out.
Well, I was also at a dark and angry point in my life at the time in 2015, so it just got me going.
It's a personal association.
I didn't actually go and work out, but I did buy Beats by Dre. So
And that's the whole point of the commercial.
exactly.
Al?
Fact for me too. Now, listen, he's had some other iconic ones. I think he had the Nike, the Chalk commercial, right?
Yeah.
That was an iconic one as
The
well.
one they ran last night was really good.
But this one specifically, it was like I don't know how long it was, but if they said, hey, this is going to be a 7-minute commercial, I'm all in, right? Like, if you're watching a commercial and you're that engaged in it, the music is perfect, the acting is perfect, all of that just kind of perfectly goes together.
He's got chops. He can act a little bit.
Yeah.
It's that's what makes those things go. He was terrific.
Amanda?
I think it's fact.
Taylor?
I'm going Caps. I like this one, but also the Mountain Dew, I think it is, where he's salsa dancing. That's kind of funny. Seen that one?
I don't think I've seen
I
that
don't
one.
know
Nobody
that
else
one.
remembers
I know the
that one.
Sprite
Nobody knows my commercial.
That was before or after
that
the
was
Citibank
Chris Webber.
commercial.
You're so
That was
obscure,
Weber.
Taylor.
You're too cool for us all. All right, so we remember LeBron, one of his first acting gigs playing himself. He was in the movie Trainwreck. So I'm going to play a part of this scene. It's a kind of a long scene, so I'm going to cut it off at some point, but I have a question at the end of it.
It's like when I decided to go back to Cleveland, I wasn't totally sure they was going to welcome me back, man. But they did. They welcomed me back with open arms and an open heart.
Yeah, they did. Again, I feel like that applies more to you. Like, I don't even live in Cleveland. But again, I appreciate the thought.
Cleveland, Ohio? It's about the home of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Or maybe we go down to Canton to the Pro Football Hall of Fame. You know Superman was created in Cleveland?
Yeah, no, I know.
All right.
I didn't know Superman was created in Cleveland.
Yeah.
Well, you don't go around to LeBron all the time. So LeBron is actually pretty funny. Chris, fact or cap?
Fact. I found that funny.
All right, Al?
Fact, I like there's dry sense of humor. Somebody who doesn't know, somebody's not going to sit there and say, hey, I'm going to go do a comedy act for 15 minutes. Yeah, that's a true talent. But somebody that kind of, let me take my as natural as I can be. And it might not be the greatest, but it is still me. I like that dry sense of humor.
All right, Trav?
Yeah, I think it's fact. He played that perfectly because it was super self-aware, and then the little twist on the character, if you guys remember, was that he was super cheap, right? Like he kept splitting checks in the movie and all of those things. And I can certainly relate to that as well. That he's like, well, you had a Coke, I didn't have a Coke, so your share is it's very, very funny.
I love how that is fallen to you, even though you paid for the dinner with Tommy and Chris, and you got in trouble
It
for
was a
paying
dinner
for that one too.
that he was not sanctioned to pay for that dinner. That was a dinner
Then
I
give
was
me-
supposed to
then
pay
give
for.
me my money back.
No.
Exactly.
You go all the way until the point of give me my money back. It's like, no, we're good.
All right, Amanda?
I'm going with Cap. I thought when I watched the movie, I was like, this is so unbelievable because now, Sliwa, yes, you mentioned he has a dry personality,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't think he has much of a personality or a sense of humor, personally. So,
All right.
Cap for me.
Taylor?
I'm kind of with Amanda on that, Cap.
Yeah, it does clearly seem like it wasn't written by him. It's a different thing. It's like he's reading words that were given to him, but I think he executed it fine. All right, so this next
Knock off a couple points from the all-time record.
All right, so we're about a week away from Valentine's Day. So Valentine's Day means less the longer that you're with somebody. Alan, fact or cap?
Fact, but I think for a different reason. The problem with Valentine's Day, it is somebody is forcing you to do something. It's a holiday that is just made up, and you should be doing nice things with your partner outside of Valentine's Day. So when you're forced to do something for Valentine's Day, it's not authentic. I don't think it's as authentic as you ever go to a restaurant, go to a nice restaurant on Valentine's Day. You are sat in the back right next to somebody else. They're just churning and burning like no tomorrow. I'm like, yeah, why don't we do this on a different day? It's much more authentic. So I'm going to go fact on this one, but it's more because of
That was a good
Valentine's
spin there,
Day
Slee. That
is-
was a good spin.
Nice rant.
That was very thought out.
Yeah, Valentine's Day
Very
sucks.
deep.
Yeah,
It
it's
especially the longer you're together, the less it matters. Anniversaries matter more. Things that are, to your point, Slee, corporately created matter less.
Yeah.
I've never been a huge Valentine's Day guy, and I've been married for almost 26 years, so I feel I got something going on.
Brag alert.
Well, I'm just saying
You're
that,
doing something right,
but
Trav.
we don't really celebrate Valentine's Day like that. So I
Does
don't
she
think it
want
matters
something
all
on
that.
Valentine's Day, or
No.
would
Just
would she
oysters.
love something on July 10th?
No, should we
Because
just-
you just did something nice for her.
The Friday night martini ritual is far more important than February 14th.
Chris?
I turned my phone off. Anyway, go ahead.
All right, Amanda.
Why am I not surprised that Chris is not a Valentine's Day
Well, that's
guy?
because he's got so many ladies, calling him wanting to hang out, so he's got to turn it off. It's fact for me, but I just think Valentine's Day is just Sliwa. It's a ridiculous. I mean, like both of the guys said, it's just a ridiculous holiday that's forced.
Taylor.
Yeah, let's make it unanimous. Valentine's Day is not. I think the only thing worse than Valentine's Day is Galentine's Day.
Hey, okay. One, you can't participate in it, and two,
wow,
it's a
Emily
nice
did not
day
like that answer.
To hang out and
she just got
celebrate
girly on us.
Your female friendships, okay?
By the way, with all that said, I will be probably getting some flowers for Valentine's Day.
Yeah, and Taylor,
go to booch.com.
Everything else.
Taylor, are you going to be doing anything with your little lady friend on
No,
Valentine's
too
Day?
soon.
Also, you're just mad you don't have a guy
Get him, Em.
Day, okay?
Get him.
Add it to the list. Streaming services, music platforms,
That
and
son of a-
Valentine's Day. And what was the other one? Oh, glasses of milk. These are the things that send
There
Emily
are way
around the
more
bend.
things than this, guys.
Way back when, I wasn't. I was a good Valentine way back when. I did a whole bed of roses thing once. That's not cheap.
No, it's not.
It's not.
Costco.
Oh, I didn't make that move that time.
I'm just saying Costco.
And how did that bed of roses end for you? Did that work out?
It was great for like another year, and then it all went south.
All right. So if you had to participate,
You should not do roses. You should do like the cheaper flowers.
Daisies.
Wood
Put
chips.
some daisies on there.
Carnations.
Go pick some daisies.
Did you say wood chips?
Yeah.
Some
This
splinters.
guy was decorating the front
Sawdust.
yard. Just
Sawdust.
like, let's go wood chips in the backyard. I'm going to use some of that and bring it in the
Smells
bedroom.
like the outdoors.
That was good. That was
Rough.
really good.
Travis likes it rough.
All right.
Factor Cap continues already in progress.
So, if you had to participate in
Travis
a
likes it
7-10
That's good.
talent show, you know what your talent would be. Chris, fetch your cap.
I didn't hear the first part. Repeat it one more time.
Everybody was talking over me. All right, so if you had to participate in a 7-10 talent show, you know what your talent would be.
Taylor, you got it?
Oh, here we go.
I'm not going to do it.
Oh, come on.
He hasn't done it, by the way, in 2023.
No,
It
I
has
won't
not
do
been
it.
done.
But he knows what to. He knows what to do. He's going to try it. We might go electric fiddle here
Oh, let's do it.
with the pony, but no,
That's his talent.
I think that's the unanimous decision. The 7-10 talent I have is
By the way,
grinding
the
on
reason-
grinding on a chair.
By the reason why he hasn't done it in 2023 is lower back issues right now.
I don't.
So
I do. Did you hear? I do yoga. But last night, so Mario and I go down and I'll make this quick, Emily. At 11:30 to Yard House, Carvo Saisu, our great social media manager, has a bunch of his friends that were at his wedding. They go, "Oh yeah, we remember Chris. You're the one that did the pony dance at the wedding." I was like, "Oh well, there you go."
Better be known for something than
Exactly
nothing.
right.
Yeah.
Everybody knows him.
All right, Travis?
I think we all know my answer to this, right?
Beer chugging.
Yes,
Oh, I
exactly.
thought the peacock.
No, well, maybe 100%. I'll do
Yeah,
a
or
chug,
animal noises.
peacock, chug. It's like it's a hat trick. I can do three things at once.
If you're gonna put a hat trick in there, can we get Messi in the mix as well?
Yeah, there you
All
go.
three of them.
We'll do the chug, the
Yeah.
Messi, and the
Yeah.
peacock. No, chugging is my special party trick.
Right. Al?
Obviously, sprinkler. You know, that was
3-point?
That was the thing. And then there was a 41% 3-point shooting, corner three. Those are
Not
my
in a
two
million
things. I
years.
do that actually after I shoot.
Do you make each one?
Amanda?
I'm going to go with twerking. I've really been working on it.
Okay.
So that's what I'm going to go with. I started 2 years ago, Super Bowl, at a Super Bowl party. I've been working on it these last 2 years.
So in the last 2 minutes, we got Travis likes it rough, and I've been working on twerking.
Hey,
I like that,
That's what
Brown.
Amanda
I
brings
like that,
to the
Brown.
station.
What about you, Emily?
I don't know. I wasn't being asked this question.
I just asked you.
But don't you have any talents?
I don't
She
really have any
sings.
talent.
You sing.
I can. I'm not going to sing right now.
Okay,
But
how about this?
trivia,
You
trivia.
don't have to sing
I'm
right
gonna
now.
Can you do
But-
like la 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 la?
But
la,
from
la?
12:10 to 12:30, can you sing?
Maybe.
It's a quick 20 minutes.
Taylor?
All right, bring it.
Yeah, I'm going to try this. See if it even works here.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. Oh yeah. Oh. Yeah.
My brother.
Yeah, some fiddle.
Yeah.
That was just a taste. We'll have more next hour, I believe.
Right?
Yeah.
Just a
Because
taste.
that sounded
just a
clean on the
taste.
mic.
You know, he
It
plays
did
by
sound
ear.
clean.
That he doesn't really read music all that much. That he plays by sound. That's amazing to me. That's
We
like
do
a
know
magic
because he just
trick.
did it. He didn't have music in front of him.
All
No,
right.
but he doesn't. He didn't learn by reading music. He just listens to it and knows how to do it.
Are we going to go Thursday night to his event?
I'd like to.
Next Thursday?
I'd like to.
The
I'm in
Genesis?
I'm
So
in
you
if you
want to
are.
tell us where it is again?
Playing at the Hudson House. Hudson House,
Hudson House
Redondo
in
Beach.
Redondo.
7:30.
Right off of PCH.
Beautiful.
All right, so the next one is there is a place that you should not meet your husband or wife. So if your friend told you, oh, hey, I met her over here, you'd be a little sketched out. All right, so I'm going to start with Amanda. Fact cap.
Yeah. Strip club.
Yes, that's it. That's a very good answer. Taylor?
Amanda took mine, yeah.
That's a good. I don't know if we beat that.
The Spearmint Rhino.
Is there anything that's not a strip club that you would say, oh, you shouldn't meet this person there? Travis?
Peppermint Hippo.
Opium den.
Really?
Opium den.
Well, you have something in common at least.
Probably not somewhere you want to meet somebody.
Yeah.
That's the question.
For me, it's a golf course because I don't want them to want to have to play golf with me all the time.
Here, how about jail?
Jail's a good
Well,
one.
it could be white collar. It could be no big deal. It could be fine.
White collar crime?
Yeah,
What about
she cheated on her taxes or something. It
What
could be
about a
fine.
remote?
That's true, that you don't want to meet someone there.
Actually,
Chris?
though, but Carlos Saisu, who I just mentioned, met his wife Pamela at a morning show remote in Atlanta.
Well, that's
So,
lovely.
you know,
Chris?
Love is everywhere.
I said golf course.
Oh, right.
I don't want them to have to play golf with me.
Alan?
I don't think I got anything better than a strip club. That would be telling that story. So where'd you guys meet? Well, it's crazy. I mean, Portia came up to me.
Work.
And no, work is...
No,
work.
I met her at work. You don't have to say where she was working.
I know a lovely woman named Portia that doesn't
I'm sure
work
you
at
do.
Okay.
I'm sure you do.
All right. So here's here's another one. So we all know that LeBron loves his wine. He loves a sheesh. So if you would have to have one rich person indulgence, and I'm not going to say real estate. So I'm going to take real estate off the board because I think everyone would get that. If you had one rich person indulgence, it would be wine. Travis, fact cap.
That's a really good one, but it's capped for me. Like if we're talking like really rich guy indulgence,
Yeah, really
private
rich
air
guy.
travel. There's nothing in the universe that comes within 100 miles of it. I've been
Like
lucky.
Spirit?
Yeah,
Spirit
just
Airlines?
like that. In my previous occupation, the person that was in charge got very, very nice perks. Among them, private air travel. I got to do that a few times. There's nothing
talking
comes
about-
within
Tell
100.
you probably shouldn't have gone Rome out of you. I mean, that sounds like a really good
It
gig.
was a pretty good gig. It was
Screw that
pretty-
one up. Now you're with us.
You pull your car up onto the tarmac. They drive it away. I don't
Yeah.
know where they take it. They lower the stairs. You walk
Nope.
on, the plane leaves. It's unbelievable.
Chris?
Can I drink that fine wine as a member at Riviera Country Club?
Good one, too.
Sure. So there you go.
Al?
This might be one of the most baller things that I've watched. This is just watching. You guys ever seen Clay in his personal boat pulling up to Chase Center? Trav, do you know what I'm talking about? Clay Thompson has a boat, pulls into Chase Center, docks it, gets off, and goes to practice. That just, I don't know why that triggers me, as that's the most baller thing that I've ever heard. Something boat, yacht kind of related is an interesting one to me.
Amanda?
Well, we all know I love my wine, so I'm going to go with fact on this one.
You went wine tasting this weekend, right?
I did, and if I had the money, I would go all over the world and wine taste and buy expensive wine.
Are you just having like a Wednesday night dinner at your place and opening a bottle of Screaming Eagle? Is that like the goal?
Yeah, I think so. I think I would actually like to lay in bed every night with a bottle on my
No, I think
nightstand
she's
and
gonna
just
be
drink straight out of it.
Somewhere in Italy, just at a winery and enjoying her time
Italian
there,
wines
too.
are fine, but no, there's better options.
Oh, God, he schooled you on that one,
There's
didn't he?
better options. A lot
Wow.
better.
All
A
right.
lot better.
Last one, Taylor.
I was going to say boating or living on a yacht or something
Yeah.
like that, but I think just traveling nonstop and just living all over the world would be perfect.
Well, that's Factor Cap.
There you go.
Good job, Em.
Commercial-free Celebration Wednesday made possible by our friends at Tequila Mandala, award-winning small batch premium sipping tequila made from the finest mature agaves. Available everywhere fine tequilas are sold, or visit tequilamandala.com for details. Demand the extraordinary and up your game with Tequila Mandala. It is KSPN Los Angeles, KRDC, AM 1110, Pasadena, Los Angeles.
Good evening, Laker fans, and welcome to Crypto.com Arena on what could be a historic night. Will be.
Rudy Ortiz, and I'm from Lancaster, California. Congratulations, King. Let's go.
Justin Gonzalez from Lake Elsinore, California. Hey, man, great respect. 20 years, 20-plus years doing this, man, and I hope you break the record tonight. Deserve it all. Hard work, dedication pays off, man, and just congrats to you.
Picked up by Westbrook. Here come the Lakers 4-on-2. LeBron down the middle to the rim and in. 6 points away. Westbrook to LeBron. Put it up and in. 4 points away. 32 in the game for LeBron.
Zach Khalifa. I'm from Australia, Sydney.
Australia, look at that.
Congratulations, King.
I came all the way from Australia to see you break the record.
Just to watch the record. Can't wait. So excited.
Dominique Corsoff from Rancho Cucamonga, California. Congratulations, King. Hey, LeBron, I've been your biggest fan, one of your biggest fans ever since high school. I'm glad to see you break the record right here in L.A.
Here come the Lakers with 25 seconds remaining in the quarter. Westbrook with it. Give it to LeBron at the right elbow. LeBron, one-on-one against Kenrick Williams. Backing him in. Turns, shoots, scores! There it is!
Oh, hey, the new king in town.
All hail the new king in town! Young and old, gather round!
Young and old, gather round.
From one iconic Laker to another.
The King is now on top of his throne.
Congratulations, King. Congratulations, King.
Congratulations, King.
Congratulations to LeBron James, making history last night at Crypto.com.
LeBron James has passed the captain.
Today, we celebrate the King with a commercial-free Celebration Wednesday. Celebrating the King making history with 38,388 straight seconds of non-stop, commercial-free mega sports talk. A commercial-free Celebration Wednesday on the home of the King, 710 ESPN.
All right, LeBron passes Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, sitting now at 38,390 points all-time. He's now number one. Needed 36 points yesterday. Why not just do it in 3 quarters? Get it out of the way. Give everybody, obviously, a 4th quarter to relax.
Never a doubt.
Never a doubt. I want to welcome in Andy Bernstein, legendary, iconic photographer, 40-plus years of documenting professional sports. Every big NBA game, put it this way, every big photo you could think of around the NBA, Andy Bernstein's probably there. So, Andy, first off, thank you very much for taking the time. We greatly appreciate it. I want to start off with this one because you've been at so many iconic events and moments. Can you kind of describe what last night was for you and that moment? And you have such a unique history because you're there for when Kareem passes Wilt. You're there for when LeBron James plays his first game and scores his first point against the Sacramento Kings. And then yesterday, you're there for, obviously, LeBron passing Kareem.
Well, first of all, thanks, fellas, for having me. Finally able to exhale here a little bit. It was a crazy night. And, people are talking about, was it like Kobe's last game? Well, we all knew that was Kobe's last game, right? So we could kind of have the build-up towards it. It was a finite end. We didn't know if LeBron would get 35 and then 36 to break the record last night. We didn't know. I went to New Orleans the other night because I thought, the outside chance he could score 64. So, there's a lot of anticipation, a lot of planning. We at NBA Photos had 4 photographers and some support staff there. We had basically every angle covered. But, it was kind of a nervous wreck. I'm a little too old to be having this kind of anxiety on the job, but I do remember the same kind of anticipatory feelings 39 years ago when I went to Las Vegas to shoot that game with Kareem when he was supposed to, supposedly break Wilt's record. He only needed 22 points going into that game. So, last night was a little bit of a crapshoot because, LeBron started off kind of slowly, but all of a sudden I look up, he's got 20 points. So, yeah, so we knew it was pretty much in the cards it was going to happen at some point in the second half.
So, Andy, how do you decide where you want to position yourself for that shot? Like you said, you kind of have an idea. We're getting close. He's 20 away. He's 10 away. Now, all of a sudden, it could be, any bucket at any moment could happen. How do you decide where you want to set up and what type of shot you want to take?
Well, I'm locked into the spot that I normally shoot from, which is on the baseline on the Lakers bench side. So we have our other NBA photographer, Nat Butler, who came out from New York. He was on the OKC bench side. So we had, like, the court positions covered. You know, yes, would I have preferred him to be LeBron to do the shot in front of me? Maybe, but yet he shot it, you know, on the other side of the court, which kind of laid out kind of cool. You know, he was going up. I had sort of a side back angle, but you saw how the whole thing played out with the basket in the photo and the fans right there. So I was going to take it any way I could get it, as long as I wasn't blocked by, you know, a referee or another person, or the camera failed. You know, anything that's out of my control.
Has that ever happened to you, Andy, where you thought you had the shot and all of the camera malfunctioned?
Oh, how much time do you guys have? Yeah, we could go down that rabbit hole, but thank God it didn't happen that way last night. And we had two photographers shooting from elevated positions, so we could get the overall shot, you know, regardless of where it happened, you know, on that side of the court. So we really blanketed the court and covered it, you know, from every angle. Plus I had remote cameras on the basket that he was going towards in the second half. So if he had gone to the basket, if he was somewhere in the key, I would have shot with those remotes and not the camera in my hand. But I ended up shooting with the camera in my hand because, like I said, it laid out as a nice horizontal.
Andy Bernstein, legendary photographer, 40-plus years documenting professional sports, has been at a lot of iconic moments in NBA history. Andy, I'm curious. I know this is it just happened last night. What just in your opinion, for as long as you've been around the league, what is that moment yesterday in NBA history? And listen, we can talk about all the individual accolades. We could talk about championships. We talk about this stuff. But what Bron accomplished yesterday was unique, and it was different, and it was at a time when nobody really thought he was going to pass Kareem. For you personally, where does that moment rank in some of those moments that you've been a part of?
Well, I was super grateful to still be working and being in a position to document it for the NBA. You know, 39 years. This is my 42nd year shooting, but, you know, 39 years between the benchmarks of Kareem breaking Wilt's record and then, of course, last night. It definitely ranks up there. I mean, I've seen some amazing feats, you know, in front of my camera. I was there when Kirk Gibson hit the World Series home run. I was there for Kobe, all of Kobe's accomplishments, his game winners, his final game, you know, all the accolades and everything that he accomplished, gold medals, Showtime, of course, all of Jordan's 6 championships. So it's, you know, I don't want to rank it like 1 through whatever, but it's as a photographer or somebody, you know, a journalist, it's definitely got to be in the, you know, top 5 or 6, I would say, to have been there, to be in the position to document it, document history. It's an amazing thing.
Andy Bernstein is our guest. And Andy, Al and I were talking about it, and one of your most iconic shots is one of my favorite NBA photographs of all time, is the one of Larry Bird and Magic Johnson kind of tangled up with their arms intertwined. Mm-hmm. Do you know when you had it? Like when you snap that picture, do you, I got it? Or do you have to, you know, back in the day in the dark room or right now digitally, do you have to look at it and see it in your hands? Or when you click that shutter, you know, yep, I just got one.
Well, you know, keep in mind that photo was taken in '87 during the finals, and we didn't have the luxury of instant gratification of just pushing the button on the back of the camera.
Sure.
You know, like, oh, I got it, or I didn't get it. You know, right now my photos are literally tethered back from the camera to an editor in New Jersey who is seeing them in real time. It's insane to think, you know, that we've come that far. That particular photo, you know, Al and I have talked about this before, that very rarely would Bird and Magic be in the same frame at the same time. They didn't guard each other. There was very little switching done between and forwards in those days. So the only kind of 2 opportunities I got with those 2 dudes, honestly, was when the captains came out to meet, and the actual captains in those days, you know, Bird, Magic, came out and met each other at 5 minutes before the game with the referees. and shook hands and had a moment, or in a free throw situation, which, God willing, it was on my side and facing me, like they could have been facing the other way. So, my radar was up when, peripherally I could see one approaching the other, or they lined up that way, which they didn't always do for free throws. And that photo is just super special. I mean, I'm looking at it right now. I have a big print of it in my office. And, it just, David Stern that said that photo helped sort of define the era, which, it's an amazing thing when your boss says something like that to you, because neither guy is dominant in that photo. And, people listening can go back and look at it. It's from '87, from the finals. And they're truly like one body, these guys. It's just an amazing photo. I mean, usually in a situation like that, the jostling for position, one guy is more dominant. One guy, is more prevalent in the frame. But in this one, it just laid out incredibly well.
All right, Andy, final one for me, and I know it's 40-plus years of work, but I might as well just ask this one. When you look back and look at your entire career, what's your favorite photo that you've taken? Is it that bird magic? Is there something else? Is it can you identify one over another, or is it, I can't really I got 7 ties or something along those lines? Which one stands out the most?
Well, I always say, I got 4 kids, and on any given day, I probably like one more than the others. But
Amen, Andy. I've got 3, and I know of what you speak. Yes.
Yeah, you know. I mean, we love them, but some days,
I love them all the same. I like them differently.
Right, exactly. But if I was to be remembered for one photo, I really have to always go back to the one of Michael Jordan holding the trophy, first championship in '91, with his dad next to him, and he's just, Michael's crying his eyes out, and it was just such a profound moment in NBA history, which we knew then it was important. We didn't know he had, 5 more in front of him. And all the backstory of, what happened with his dad, and it's just, to me, is just a very poignant photo. Not an action photo, of course. My second favorite probably is Kobe when he's in ice. You guys have seen that black and white. It's in our Mamba Mentality book. And again, not an action photo. And maybe if we had to go to the third one, maybe the LeBron dunk where he's going up, the legs kind of scissored, kicking, and, from the floor remote angle, you see the whole arena behind him. But, I have sort of a revolving door of favorites, and I keep a lot of them on the wall, so I'm able to look and kind of change position every once in a while.
Andy, we greatly appreciate the time. We thought it'd be great to have you on to kind of talk about your insight around the league and taking so many of these iconic photos. Yesterday, such an important moment in the NBA's history, so thank you for doing this, bud. We greatly appreciate it.
Thank you, fellas. Great connecting with you as always.
Thanks, Andy.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Okay, bye.
It was that's just cool to be able to create art like that so many people enjoy and know, just instantly recognizable. Like when I was talking about that bird and magic, but everybody knows. If you are, everybody knows.
I know.
It's like, oh yeah, that one.
And he shot it.
Yeah.
Like there's so many of those photos you're talking about, and he took those shots.
Very, very cool. Of course, last night LeBron goes by Kareem, 38,390 and counting. By the way, he's got another. There's 28 games on the schedule. Who knows how many he plays? Probably 24 or so, give or take. He's got 2 more years on his Laker deal. He said after the game last night that it's all mental at this point, that he's taking good care of his body, that his body is responding well, and he could put this thing 42,000. If he stays at the level he's at right now, it could be 43,000 along the way. That we will probably go a lot longer from when Kareem beat Chamberlain's record to when James beat Kareem's record was just a shade under 40 years.
Right, 39 years.
We're probably going beyond 40 years before anybody even considers coming near this thing again.
Of course, we got to start planning our next commercial-free 39 years from now.
Commercial-free Celebration Wednesday right here on 710 ESPN. We are at, hold on, I had it, 7,980 seconds so far.
Woohoo!
It's nothing. We're going to make it to 38,388. By around 8:45 p.m. tonight. And then we'll just round up till 9 p.m. So be with us all day long. You can watch us live on YouTube. Search ESPN LA. And the reason I'm wearing this Pizza Hut throwback hat with that old logo, the classic logo that they went back to, I think Pizza Hut's going to give us lunch, I think, soon. Breaking news, the big New Yorker from Pizza Hut is back. The Big New Yorker is a huge 16-inch pizza that divides into 6 oversized, foldable slices for only $13.99. Order the Big New Yorker and all your Pizza Hut favorites for your big game party at pizzahut.com. I was a big fan of the Big New Yorker when it first came out. I think like 10, 15 years ago.
The fold is key.
The fold's a
the fold is so nice.
It's a nice fold.
Yes, it is. Indeed, it is. You get because you get like a double bite. When you unfold it, it looks like there were 2 bites out of it, but you actually only took 1.
So how do you do it then? So Pizza Hut brings in the pizza. You wait till after the show is done and do your damage, or during the show?
No, after.
Yeah.
Look, I'm a broadcast professional
Sure.
most
Are you?
of the time, so I'm going to make sure that I'm not like eating while
Sure.
I'm on the air.
Sure.
But we'll see.
Sure.
You know, this is a unique set of circumstances where there are no breaks. So you know, you never know. Never say never.
The big CY Quentin Yates is going to join us in a few minutes.
Okay.
I got a good Julian thing with him.
I think he's on right now. As a matter of fact, Chris, CY, are you there?
Oh, I'm right here. How you guys doing?
Good, man. How are you?
I'm well, and I have a couple things to say. First of all, I just have to lay out the accolades. Number one, Morales. I mean, just the tremendous top of the hour lead-ins with the Prince back and forth. I mean, this is the kind of stuff. Here's what today is, guys, and I don't want to get too far behind the curtain, but if you're like a radio nerd, of which I am one, today is one of those days where you're like, I can't believe this is actually happening. Like 11 hours, commercial-free, Morales, with all of the creativity possible after a historic moment in local sports lore. You just don't get it. And I'm not just saying that.
A lot of compliments here, Morales.
Yeah, I'm serious, guys.
While I
I'm
appreciate that,
serious.
Clinton, I want to give credit where credit is due. That Prince whole thing is John Ireland's idea. He was very excited to tell us about it yesterday, planning. And the great Mario Ruiz helped a tremendous amount with the creativity last night.
Excellent work out of everybody. People forget that song was the first song on the Batman soundtrack, which, by the way, went diamond, Travis, if you're wondering. But
I already knew that.
I just wanted to say this is a day of this. Okay, and this is the last analogy I'm going to use. This is like, so when I was a kid at my middle school, we used to go on these retreats at the end of like the school year, and you'd go to like, I don't know, some camp or whatever for like a week, and there were the people you knew. You know, you knew them from school, you knew them from maybe playing sports with them, maybe you did social things, but there were life commercial breaks, as in you would go home to your house. But when you went to camp, you learned a lot about people because they just couldn't stop. There was no direct interference in terms of how you interacted with your people. This is what it's like.
So that's why we're doing the 7-10 summer camp.
Thank you. But I mean,
it all goes back to the 7-10
That was a
summer
pretty good
camp.
analogy.
Was that not a reasonable analogy? Thank you.
We'd pretty much put that thing to bed.
Oh, no.
Now you
But
just
he
lit
brought
the
it up.
fuse again.
We're going to REI after this.
I didn't mean to say it like that, but I mean it. You know, like it's cool to see you guys. You know, I've been listening all morning and I've had a blast. That's what I'm saying.
Thank you.
Appreciate that.
How are you guys?
Terrific.
Speaking of REI, how much do you think one of those Yeti gallon jug ones are? That's going to be expensive.
They're expensive.
Well, I mean, Morales, I've got
Yeti,
6,
Costco,
so
too?
I know very well.
How much are they? The gallon
No,
one? Because I want to bring in like a gallon of iced tea on Tuesdays to keep hydrated.
I'm gonna guess that it's at least $100.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's got
minimum
At
$100.
least
Least.
$100.
Also, iced
Yeah.
tea to keep you hydrated? That's
Yeah.
an interesting choice.
No, it's beautiful with lemon
weird.
in there. The lemon is key
delicious.
to hydration. Lemon is key to hydration.
Wouldn't you
Where
want,
did you,
like,
where
a
did you
warm
learn that,
tea?
Morales?
But isn't
Yeah.
caffeine a diuretic? It actually dehydrates you.
But when you use the cold brew packets, it's not that much caffeine.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'm not like brewing it at home. You use the cold brew packets.
What about
you
sun
put
tea?
about 6 in there. Bam! You got a gallon of iced tea.
All you
homeboy,
wanted to
with
know
lemon.
how much Yeti was at REI,
Right.
and then
Would this
everyone came
qualify
at the iced tea.
as a fun fact, Slee, or would it qualify as 3 fun facts? Like, I can't.
I got 3 fun facts total out of that.
Yeah, I
I
did
got
too.
3 total out of that.
I did too.
Oh, great
There
job,
it is.
Taylor.
There it is. Taylor Gang's on it.
By the
That's
way,
good.
we need to hear Taylor's fiddle.
Yeah, when
I'm
are
here
we
for
doing
that.
Taylor? When are we doing that?
Whenever you want.
I was
mean,
told after
we got,
Clinton's done.
We got
which
Yates
don't-
here right now.
That's a mystery right now. We don't know how much he's
Don't
got
want-
in him.
I mean, okay, guys. You know what I mean? Like, what are we doing? With friends like these. You know what I'm saying? What are we doing?
So here's the thing. I guess I'll jump in.
Yes, please do.
Last night in the company suite, I felt a large hand on my back. He said, "Hey, Morales." I turned around. It was Julian. Oh, Julian. Your consigliere, as you like to call him.
The consigliere was
It
in
was
the
weird
building.
to see Julian without Clinton. I thought they always travel in pairs.
He was there alone?
Exactly.
Wow.
And he was much more talkative without Clinton there, the big CY.
Let me ask you a question. Did you enjoy any of the consigliere's privileges? Did he take you
I did not
anywhere that
attend
you had
those.
not been?
It's business for me, so I don't go to those certain places of crypto.com. But I know Mason and Kaplan did enjoy.
Are
You
we
can tell
able
the
to
story.
elaborate
Yes,
on what those
yes.
privileges are?
I wasn't there. I was only told of it.
Believe me,
Morales was
he
there.
took
Be a good
Mace-
storyteller.
He took Whoa. Easy. Settle down. Well, a Mace and Cap were taken to hide
Okay.
at Crypto.com and introduced to the general manager, who apparently is a big fan of 710 ESPN.
Nice.
I'm sure there were cocktails. Although I don't think Mason was having a cocktail.
I think he's not allowed.
He
right?
did eat a hot dog, which he didn't want me to say on the air, but he did eat a hot dog.
What's wrong with eating a hot dog?
Because he's like he's fat and he wants to lose weight.
Well, pardon me for getting too froggy on that, Chris, but what I'm saying is that the reason why the consigliere is that the amenities that come with his lifestyle sometimes afford, let's just say, situations.
Access?
Yes, access is an excellent word for precisely what I'm talking about. Tremendous noun.
Access is what you want, and you want people in your life to have.
Correct.
Those are the things that, because that leads to all the good stuff is predated by access.
It's a good night. Going to the Hyde Lounge on the night that Braun's about to break. Right, no problem. We'll just go to Hyde here. That's a good setup, right there.
Hey, Chris, was Mason wearing sweatpants?
No, he was actually. The funny thing is, there were no actual photos taken because he ducked out before there was some group photos. But he was in a suit, open shirt, hair slicked back, and I looked at him at one point and said, "Don't you feel better?" And he said, "I kind of do." Don't you feel better than rolling out of bed and coming to work in like
Sweatpants and a sweatshirt and looking like
but
a
not
homeless
like
person?
designer. It's not like he's rolling in an Adidas jumpsuit, right? Like he would.
And it's not like his hoodie and his sweatpants actually match.
It's what was in the laundry basket by the foot of the bed.
Yeah,
exactly. With his
That's
grandpa
what it is.
sneakers.
Or sometimes it looks like he actually slept in the sweats and then just rolled in here.
Which I wouldn't put past him.
You have to have a certain look for a certain place, and that
Yeah.
was the right spot for the right look.
Yeah, but I heard it was a good night, so I was out gallivanting with my friends on the beach as I do, so I saw this.
Do you
on
guys
television.
skip and hold hands while you do it?
Was it like the Rocky scene?
Wow. Yes, that's in fact exactly what it's like. How did you know?
Wait a minute.
And I enjoyed it
LeBron's about
tremendously.
to make history. You're on a radio station in Los Angeles and you're gallivanting on the beach?
No, I'm watching it on the beach with my friends. The gallivanting comes after.
Are there red cups?
The moments. No, there's clear cups, but they're not red. Anyway, my point is
Is it like
that
a scene out of Gidget?
Why the beach?
That's a deep reference, Travis. I needed your
I'm
help
assuming
there.
he's going to a bar.
Chris,
near
it's
the
beach, beach
'cause
blanket bingo.
That's where I live. Yeah, I mean, what do you want me to
Hitting
say?
a bar at the beach.
No, I don't live in a bar at the beach, Sliwa.
No, but why not?
You're
Why not?
hitting a
Mr.
bar
Murphy
at
bed,
the
enough
beach.
out of you.
But like there's
Yates, what's
he's
going
coming
on
on the
here?
Travis
I was
and Sliwa show, and
defending
he's awful
you.
defensive.
I
There's
was
the game.
defending you there.
There's going to
My
the
bad.
game. There's going to a bar. There's watching it at home. There's watching it with friends, and
I
then
said
there's
he
the
went
beach.
to a bar at the beach.
But the beach
I'm
is
assuming.
an odd choice.
My bad, Slee.
Especially on a
I
cold
jumped-
Tuesday
I
night.
What bar did you go to, Clinton?
I jumped the gun. I'm not telling you that, Amanda. There's
Why
no
is it
chance.
bougie?
No, it's not bougie. I just don't want to tell people where I be hanging out in case.
Well, people might recognize him,
In
you
case
know that.
Morales isn't there to tell people who I am.
He's got to
You know
wear a
what I'm
hat so
saying?
people don't recognize him.
Exactly. It's a tough life. But no, my point is,
Clinton,
is
you're
that
getting hit from every angle
I
today.
love it. I will be. By the way, fun fact: hit the music, Taylor. Hit the cheers, please. Fun fact: I will be coming in studio later this afternoon in the flesh to defend my honor. All right, that's what's going to happen. But my point is that I had a good time tonight, last night. I thought it was a pretty cool moment. I heard you guys talking about it earlier, like the sort of the spectacle of the night took over the process.
Sure.
And I heard Emily ask a question. She said, "Who was the most famous person you saw, or at least that made an impression?" I mean, Slee chimed in. I mean, Jim Gray.
Jim
Like,
Gray.
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? With
I don't
that?
think
That
you were
was-
listening.
Okay,
but,
but
continue. Go ahead.
unbelievable.
the
No, I
point
heard
is
that.
though, see, is that not the most on-brand thing that Alan could have said?
Beyond on brand, and I hadn't even thought of it until Emily brought it up. She was like, "Of course you said that."
The
That
the
was
only
fantastic.
surprise was that the answer wasn't Woj.
Jay-Z was at other games. These guys. Denzel was at other games.
You
But
showed
Jay
that
was right
works.
behind
Al,
me.
you have to understand that Jim Gray's a weird answer to that question.
I
You
understand that.
need to understand that,
But
right?
it was more the story that Jim Gray took some of my elbow space.
Yeah, but no,
when I'm trying to take
but
the
see,
video.
that's what you do, and this is what makes you so wonderful. The question was, who was the most famous person you saw, and you turned it into a question about elbow
Jim
room
Gray.
and Jim Gray.
Yeah, it was Jim Gray.
That's why it's the most Slee answer possible.
And that's
I'll
why
tell
we
you
love you.
this: at 3:00 at an LA Fitness, Alan Sliwa could box out Jim Gray with ease. That's a different story.
And
But-
make 4 out of 10 from the corner.
without a doubt. But I just thought it was a pretty
I'll
cool
foul
moment.
him. He comes in the key. I'll tell you that right now.
Put him on his back.
What time are you going to record him for a Lakers talk?
Well,
as I
I heard that
suggested,
didn't happen.
as I suggested him, I said you should have booked him. He was the guy on the decision. He was the other guy there. It's a great LeBron moment.
That's a
and I
good
said,
point.
why didn't you book him?
I got nothing on
and
that
he
one. That's
said,
a good
I didn't
point.
want to bother him.
I think we know who lost the elbow room battle.
Hey.
That's how that one.
All right.
went.
So while I got you guys all
Yes.
here, I have another game for us to play. I don't know, Clinton, if you're
Star
listening
Wars.
to the to the John Williams.
That was a
trivia
stroke
game.
of genius, by the way.
Well,
and some of
thank
you guys got movies that like I wouldn't have recognized them. I didn't know John Williams even did them. Like that was a strong seg.
John Williams does all of your favorite movies from your childhood. Let's just
Correct.
say that. So here is a LeBron-themed trivia game. So let's see again if your name is your buzzer.
Can I take my 2 minutes right now?
Oh wow!
You can use it whenever
That's a
you wanted.
great move.
Hey,
If you would like to.
You won 2 minutes. You take that. You know when I thought
Yeah.
you were going to take it? At 1:10.
Well, that's a better idea. That's exactly what I'm going to do.
Oh, that's it.
All right, so you're going to save your
Well done.
unless you win right here, and you can have 4 minutes.
I'm
and
not
then
gonna
you
win this one.
Okay. All right. So this one is all right. So LeBron is 4th all time in most career dunks since 1996. So who are the top 2 since 1996?
Oh man!
All right. Sliwa.
This is a Sliwa special. Yeah.
No, these are all going to be complete guesses. So you're saying most dunks since 1996.
This is messing
I'm
my
going to
brain
guess.
That's not old enough.
I'm thinking you got to be big men, right? You got to be people that are just
Not
hanging around the
necessarily
basket.
though. I mean, think about LeBron. LeBron wasn't a
Longevity has to be a
Yeah.
factor.
All right, I'll go Vince Carter as one of them. Am I already out?
You're not
Am
right.
I already out? Okay, then I'm already
Okay.
out.
Well,
All
I'll go
right.
close. Oh, okay. I'll go close. I'll say Tracy McGrady.
That is not one of the
I want to
ones.
throw one in. I'm going to go back to the big man thing. Is DeAndre Jordan, because that's all he did was do dunks.
So he is number 3.
Oh,
so I'm going
what?
to give you
That's
a.
a great
Can I guess?
Are you kidding me,
That's all
Travis?
DeAndre Jordan does
Are
is
you
dunk.
kidding me with
It's a
that?
really good
That's
guess.
why? Why is that so surprising to you?
That was genius, and I loved it. That's all I'm saying.
All right, Taylor.
Well, then thank you.
I'm gonna guess Shaq.
Wow.
Yes, ding ding ding. Shaq is one of
Should've got
them.
Shaq.
All right,
Yeah.
so we got 2 out
Yeah.
of 3. The third is Dwight Howard. So I'm gonna give.
Of course.
I'm gonna give 1
Yeah,
point.
no,
the
that
only
makes a lot
shots
more
those
sense.
guys take.
Yeah.
Travis,
Right.
Mr. I'm not going to win this. Get right to it off the break.
All right, I'm gonna put
My
Travis.
strategy, see why I like to
love
slow
it.
play things.
I love it.
Give one to each of you guys. So, LeBron James has scored 7,533 fast break points, by far the most by any player in the play-by-play era. In fact, only one other player has even passed 5,000 fast break points. Who is that person?
Travis.
Yeah.
Russell Westbrook.
Ding 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 ding.
Good
What is
guess.
going on here?
I'd have gone Kobe.
What's happening?
I'd have
here?
gone Kobe
See,
on that.
because
That is
for
right.
a good 5 or 6 or 8 year window, he was the fastest player in the league. Even
Yeah.
when it wasn't a fast break, he'd turn it into one.
Travis,
and he'd
all
just
of your
take away
logic
and
makes
go.
absolute sense. I just can't believe you're right on 2 for 2 on 2
He
swings.
definitely slow played here.
I love it. That was amazing.
All right, so there is
4 minutes, Al.
Right.
108.
I'm not guessing.
108.
He'll be out at
I'm
108.
listening to Travis at this point.
All right, so there's a list of the most career 50-point games. Can you name 3 of the top 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
Travis.
7, 8? Go ahead.
Wilt Chamberlain, because
Yes.
he's always one of the answers. So I need to get 3 of the top 8.
3 of the top 8.
Kobe.
Yep.
And the other one.
Is it obvious, you think, Al?
I think it's obvious.
LeBron James.
Yep. Ding,
Yeah.
ding, ding.
I mean, what's
LBJ
you know,
was
come on.
going to
So the list is Wilt Chamberlain, Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, James Harden, Elgin Baylor,
James
LeBron
Harden.
James, Damian Lillard, and Rick Barry.
I
That
wouldn't have
sound you
guessed
heard was
Harden.
Travis leaving the studio.
No, he's
the
gone.
rest of the
He's
hour.
done. He's done.
All right, I'm gonna do 2 more, and then we can move on from this.
I'll
So-
set these out. You guys go ahead.
Okay,
All right.
sure.
Are you taking it right now?
Thanks, Roger.
Because
Appreciate that.
that's a different counter. That's a different stopwatch.
I've already we're only doing 2 more, right?
You've
Only
locked
2
up the
more.
win.
So I've already
yes.
locked up the win.
Yes.
No, he got the first
I
one.
got
Did
the
you
first
get 3
one.
in a row? No, you have 2, right? Isn't it 2-1?
And then we split the first one 3 ways. So I've got it like. Do I need to keep? Here's my question: do I need to participate to guarantee my next?
Just
2 minutes?
Just take 5,
You're
Trav.
the only one that knows the answer, so yes, please do participate.
Taylor could tie with you.
Okay.
So it's
If
similar.
you
to
don't
last game.
speak over the next 2 minutes, I'm docking you.
All right. So, what is the franchise that LeBron has the highest career points per game against?
Yates.
Taylor.
Sliwa.
All right, Yates had it first.
This is a random wild guess because I just want to say it. The Hornets.
Wrong. All right.
Dang it.
Slee was next.
All right, I'm going to go Eastern Conference team. I'm going to assume it's not counting playoffs. It's just regular
wait, I
season,
know who
right?
it is now.
Yes, you
Dang
do.
it. I
Yes,
know
you
who it
do.
is now. I'm
So
so
do I.
ashamed of myself.
So do I.
I'll go against random. We'll go against the Knicks.
That's wrong.
That's wrong.
Taylor.
It's not wrong. Taylor, yep.
Pacers?
Nope, that is not right.
Travis.
Go ahead.
Celtics.
Ding, 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 ding.
Celtics. How is what's going on here?
I was going to go Pistons.
Slee, this
as
is
my
on
next-
you.
on my next one.
Slee, this is on you. You're supposed to guard Travis. Okay, this is what
I didn't
you know how
box
they
him
have the
out.
huddle up sessions,
No,
Trav, where like the coach isn't in it, it's just the players at like the free throw line. We're huddling up.
No,
you're
Yates,
guarding
Yates, you know how
Travis.
you
What's
know how you
happening?
go under a screen. You're like, let him shoot, and he just keeps hitting shots. You're like, wait, the whole
Training
game
him.
plan said let him shoot.
Right, so he averages 29.1 points against the Boston Celtics over his career.
I heard he's not a real
I thought
Laker,
it-
though.
I thought it'd be
That's-
Knicks only
last,
'cause of
last
the
time I
Knicks.
checked, he's not a real Laker, Travis.
Yes, he became one last night if he wasn't already.
I'm not gonna. I was actually not really trying to entertain that. I was just throwing that in.
It's out there. By the way, if you look,
We don't
at
have time to get into it.
If you get, we have
told.
nothing but time
I'm
today.
told
CY.
we don't have time.
We have nothing
Stand by
but.
real quick. At 12:29 p.m., Sliwa just whispered in my ear, "Can I go to the bathroom?" Slee, go ahead. Go ahead.
All right,
as Cappy
see ya.
would say.
Okay, see
All right, I got one more left for you. So LeBron has scored 2,629 career points in clutch time, which is defined as the final 5 minutes where the score is within 5 points. It is the most by any player in the play-by-play era since 1996. The only other player who has 2,000 plus points in clutch time is
Taylor.
Taylor?
Kobe?
That is correct. Yates.
Dang it!
You're close. You're
Taylor
close.
and I
gonna
are
guess
basically
Jordan, so it doesn't
NBA
matter.
experts.
Yeah, I was
Yates.
gonna guess
If you-
Jordan,
you
so it
look,
doesn't matter.
Can we
it's
get
fine.
Taylor your place on Around the Horn?
Really, Chris? Really, Chris?
Julian, he made
Let
fun
me-
of ATH.
Let me explain something. I am not on TV because I'm smart. Okay? As the president of the local chapter of the Handsome Man community.
Oh, I thought you were going to say because
I'm
you're
speaking
entertaining,
as
but you
such.
went the wrong
I think he
angle.
called me ugly.
No, I didn't. I didn't. You know, I'm just saying. Hi. It's me.
You really like to lean into your handsomeness.
It's really good, man. It so works, bro. I get
well-
free stuff all the time from people.
Like what,
It's
like pie?
fantastic. No, like at fast food spots or like places where I go to eat. People hook me up with free stuff.
Please
all the
cut
time.
this up, Taylor,
Marie
because this is the
calendars.
most amazing. He's gone from
great.
being recognized at Topgolf with Corporate Greg to people give him free food now because he's on Around the Horn.
Awesome.
Okay, but
No,
Travis,
no,
your
no,
first
no. That's
question
a
is
separate matter.
pie?
It's,
Yeah.
it's not an around the horn thing, Chris.
Well,
It's
that-
just-
Hold on. Clear space because I want him to say this. Go ahead.
as the president of the local chapter of the Handsome Man community, let's just say membership has its privileges.
So now he's saying he gets free food because he's handsome.
Make me some pie.
It happens all the time, bro.
That's kind of the gold standard for when you're handsome and charming and you're just kind of out. So, hey, you know what? Just decide to bring you a piece of pie. Here you go.
Sure,
Enjoy the
right.
rest of your night.
Little cheesecake
Yeah,
with your
you know what I'm
champagne,
talking
Mr.
about.
Yates?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
if you've
saying?
gotten free pie or dessert on multiple occasions, then you're in the club. That's just how it goes.
Cake by the ocean?
It works. Exactly. You know what I mean? By the beach. You know.
Still struggling with that one, Yates. Like
Why?
that you watch the game on the beach. I can't quite get there.
There's a specific bar that is close to the beach, and you can hear the waves, and you can watch the game. It's great.
You've probably been there. Trav, we
There's a
all have
couple,
been
yeah.
at some point in our lives.
Right, sure. You know, I just happen to live near one, so I attend it frequently.
He lives near the beach, and he's handsome.
And
he's on TV.
And he gets
What
pie.
are we doing?
All right,
what I
guys.
mean?
So I kind of want to play this piece of sound we haven't played from the game last night. So it's LeBron with TNT after the game. I believe he was talking to Shaq. So it's about how he was asked about what this means to him, what he can do with it. So I'm going to play it right now.
I know I can play a couple more years. You know, the way I'm feeling, the way my body's been reacting to me throughout this course of the season. You know, I know I can play a couple more years. It's all about my mind. You know, if my mind is still into it, if I'm still motivated to go out and try to compete for championships, because I feel like that's what I can still do for any group of guys, for any franchise. I can go out there and still help win multiple championships or win a championship. So that's my mindset, but it's all about the mind. If my mind is sharp and I feel motivated to go out and prepare myself every single day, then you're not going to continue to play this game.
So there's a lot there, but the part that stopped me in my tracks last night as it was happening was I can do this for any team with any group of guys. That again, it could have been the emotion of the moment, and he's just talking and he meant nothing by it. It could also be the trade deadline is tomorrow at noon, and I would like you to get me different guys. It could also be I want to win more championships, and I can do it with anybody, but you're not helping me here. It could be any of those three things.
So, look, this could happen with the Lakers. Maybe it doesn't happen at all. If the Lakers don't make the playoffs again this year, Trav, just think about this for a quick second, right? That would be 2 straight years you don't make the postseason. Let's say Anthony Davis plays the rest of the season. right? So there's no excuses also that this year you're not able to be a part of the top 10. Bron has made it clear, hey, I still want to compete here. My thought process is not, I'm just out here hanging out. I'm also here trying to win is part of the process. I don't know what's going to happen in a year. I don't know what's going to happen in 2 years. But I think it's fair. LeBron's not in the league to not make the playoffs moving forward. Safe to say?
Yeah, for sure. And look, I really have a hard time envisioning a universe where he does not end his career as a Laker. I just it's one of those things you kind of try to visualize it. It doesn't feel like I'm not going to close my eyes. Oh yeah, he's a Phoenix Sun, or he's in, back in Cleveland again. It just doesn't seem like that's a realistic conclusion. He's going to finish as a Laker, but there's all these little breadcrumbs that he drops along the way that could kind of take in a different direction.
It is a celebration, commercial-free Wednesday. First, we want to thank our friends at Fullerton Ford. When you think Ford, think Fullerton Ford. Hoorah! Visit FullertonFordOC.com. The great Abe over there, the owner. And look what just came in.
The big New Yorker.
The big New Yorker from our friends at Pizza Hut.
Oh, yeah.
We just did hit the breaking news.
Got to get your cans on.
The great Mark Yates, well, of course, won Salesperson of the Year at the Mandy Awards. Look at this. Let's open this up for the camera. It's not. We don't want
to get that in there. Yep. There it is.
Look at that.
That smells amazing. That looks amazing.
Trav can smell it from here.
Bring it over.
Okay.
Bring it over. I want to do a fold on
Wait,
camera.
Can you also
get in
put
there.
it on the floor?
Get in there.
Oh, there's the
Get
fold.
in there.
Need that.
There's the fold.
And Trav, this isn't your official break.
By the way, this is also.
Don't send it that way. Send it this way.
By the way, Ron. No, we're good, bro. You're good. You're fine. Yeah, you're fine.
We need some.
No, you can eat a slice of pizza. Go ahead.
Listen.
It's over there.
Listen. Tomorrow. Yeah, I was going to say, by the way, this is the closer of the softball
The great
game,
Ron Mitchell.
I hear
He's
you're
also
a pickleball expert.
To be determined.
And some people say Ron may be the favorite to win at Mandy's 2 Salesperson of the Year.
Ooh.
So you never know.
Never know.
Here's the pizza back out.
Also, thanks to our
Thank
friends.
you, brother. Thank you.
Commercial-free Celebration Wednesday. Thanks to our friends at Vista Paint, locally owned, manufactured, and operated since 1956. Don't forget, in about 20 minutes, Super Crosstalk with Mason and Ireland. And at 2 p.m. today, we got a special surprise for our boss, the great Amanda Brown. Commercial-free all the way until 9 p.m. tonight, right here on 710 ESPN.
Al, did you make anything by that? The comments that he made at the end, or was it just a guy just talking about, what had just happened, and it means, I don't want to say it means nothing, but he was just talking.
So, in all honesty, I think for the most part, Bron is saying, let me get one here there, Taylor. Taking my
Yeah, go ahead.
1-1.
You're good.
There's no breaks, so we gotta.
You got sustenance.
So, I think this. I don't think.
Are you putting on a bib?
No, I'm trying to not get my computer all messed up with pizza stuff.
Pizza stuff. Hashtag pizza stuff.
Like that, for instance.
Oh, you did do it.
I know, right?
What kind of animal are you?
Pizza Hut animal.
Do you guys want me to just vamp here for a second?
I was going to say, I'm in the middle of something here. It's fine.
I think Bron, when he says stuff, I think he knows what he's saying, right? So I think, listen, but
just a tightening of the screw with the deadline, with all of the stuff that we know is out there, with all the things that we know are pending in limbo, may or may not happen.
Yeah.
Was this another opportunity for him to say, go get me somebody?
I think he knows what he's talking about. I think he says things for a purpose. So if the Lakers, who on it was just as early as Friday, Saturday, were trying to negotiate for Kyrie, Westbrook would have been a part of that package. There's your 27 and your 29 pick. Bron has been public about some of his comments of, it would be nice.
Yeah.
I want to compete. So I wouldn't be surprised if that's a comment. He knows exactly what he's saying.
This might be a little bit of a reach, but watching this last night, and I get that Oklahoma City is in a really unique position because of the deals that they made. They've accumulated all these picks. They just got Chet last year, who hasn't even played. You got SGA, who is a legitimate NBA star or on the precipice of becoming one. But then you got all
how many
these
picks they have?
175.
They have 38 picks.
Yeah, it's crazy.
19 first rounders, 19 second rounders, something like that.
They've got all these picks, and you look at who they got. They got the two J Wills, or J Dub and J Will. You got Josh Giddey, who can play. Chet, who I just mentioned, who was a high pick in last year's draft. And that's, I think, what people who are on my side of the ledger in the Laker universe are thinking, like, you're not going to hit on all of them, but if you could get a couple of those to kind of build around, that's not the end of the world, as opposed to constantly trying to put a finger in the dam to try to stop the leaking. Well, this guy doesn't work, so get another guy that's a veteran player, another guy. That if you just keep chasing what you've been chasing to no avail over the last few seasons, at some point you're going to have to, I don't want to say do what they're doing because theirs is an extreme example, but you can see the talent on the horizon. That's a really fun team to watch. They play fast, they play hard, they score a lot of points. That's kind of the next iteration of the Laker team that I would like to see after LeBron. And if you trade away those picks, you're going to have to wait even longer to try to start to accumulate those guys.
Think about those picks. I think the Oklahoma City Thunder have one way to try to succeed in the NBA. I don't think the Lakers have one way. So I think that's the difference, right? I think for the Thunder, you have to do what they're doing to be a relevant team in the league. I mean, Trav, there was a time where they drafted KD, Russell Westbrook, James Harden, Serge Ibaka, Steven Adams. They had a really, really good team that I would argue before KD went and joined the Golden State Warriors were one of the favorites to win the whole thing.
Sure.
That's how they have a model of how they're going to have success. The Lakers don't have to copy that model. Lakers can skip steps that some franchises just can't skip. I get what you're saying about 27 and 29, but we were also having this conversation just a few days ago about we would give up 27 and 29
in a very
if Kyrie was.
In a very specific deal for a player that is, in his own right, a generational talent. Right,
but what comes with a lot of baggage and question marks.
Speaking of, and I was not playing, but you got to hear this.
This is, and I have not heard it.
This is unreal. This is Kyrie Irving talking to reporters about how he feels he was treated in Brooklyn.
I just know I want to be places where I'm celebrated and not just tolerated or kind of dealt with in a way that doesn't make me feel respected. And there were times throughout this process when I was in Brooklyn where I felt very disrespected, and my talent. I work extremely hard at what I do. No one ever talks about my work ethic, though. Everyone talks about what I'm doing off the floor. So I just want to change that narrative, write my own story, and just continue to prepare in the gym.
Dude, you're on your fourth team. You're talking about being disrespected and nobody appreciates what you do. What you do is you don't show up for work frequently.
Oh, I see his angle.
What you do, not Al. Here, let me help everybody out here. Do you know how you get respect? You earn it and you give it. That's how you get it. You earn it and you give it. He earns respect as a talent, but he doesn't earn respect as a great NBA player because he doesn't show up. He's like, I did what I was supposed to do when I was brought here. No, you didn't. You were supposed to be a part of a super team to compete for NBA championships. You won one playoff series, dude.
Yeah.
You won 7. He's out of his flipping mind. That this disrespected, you just decided not to come. The people were thrilled to see you leave Cleveland. They were thrilled to see you leave Boston. They were thrilled to see you leave Brooklyn. That's everybody else's fault, and I guarantee people will be thrilled to see you leave Dallas. That's going to happen. Might be at the end of this year. It might be in the middle of next year, the end of next year. But this insanity, I don't know a better word for it, where I'm being disrespected, that is just off the charts in lacking self-awareness.
I don't understand your emotion. What's your emotion towards the most ridiculous thing that you've ever heard?
That's a good point.
I don't understand.
You're right about that.
That's what the only thing that threw me off with your reaction was it came out of Kyrie's
You're 100%
mouth.
right. You're 100% right. But you hear Jason Kidd go, "Oh, Kyrie's all about winning." He actually said that.
Yeah.
No, he's the exact opposite of that. I don't like living in this world where things that are patently obvious and we pretend the opposite is true. Right?
Well, can I tell you something?
Sure.
Just as an example, if he'd have came to the Lakers, you'd have probably heard similar stuff from the team that just acquired him as well.
Of course,
right? So,
of course.
It's so ridiculous to hear Kyrie talk that I hear it and say to myself, okay, yeah, that did absolutely nothing for me. I'm going to pay zero attention to it.
You're right. Thank you for nudging me back in line. You're right about that. Let's go to San Diego and Jonathan. Jonathan, you're on with Trav and Sliwa. What's up?
Just calling about yesterday's game as like a diehard Laker fans. It's just like, what are we doing here? Are we just in the play to watch LeBron get accolades, or are we trying to actually go for a championship here?
So I'll answer that, Jonathan. I appreciate you calling in. I think the whole go for a championship here, that you can't even have that as part of a sentence right now around the Lakers. The reality is, Bron did something that may never happen again in the history of the NBA. So as best as we can, we're trying to reflect on that and acknowledge it. I will tell you, as somebody that gets very frustrated watching Lakers basketball, I do. Still, like, as your emotions were from a kid to today, you still get them. This is your team. This is a squad that you watch. They are, and I know there's a lot of frustration around Laker fans, they are 5 games below 500. I have no answer if they're going to work their way into the play-in tournament. There's literally teams in front of them that have no reason. They're not even trying to be a part of the play-in tournament. Utah Jazz could very well sell off their guys by tomorrow because it's not in their best interest to be in the play-in tournament. Teams like that are in front of the Lakers. Or the Thunder that you just used as an example. Mm-hmm. Shea's nice. Josh Giddey is nice. They got some players that got some talent. The Thunder are supposed to be a couple years away from getting to the playoff picture. So teams like that are beating the Lakers. That part is frustrating. I understand that.
I understand the frustration, and I do. But the part that kind of is a disconnect for me is this, well, why are we focused on LeBron breaking this record when they blew a game that they probably should have won last night? Guys, there are no games that they probably should win. Every game is a contest with them. This is the sort of team they are.
True.
There is not a team in the league who's like, we got this one.
Yeah.
That doesn't exist. Mm-hmm. Okay? You're going to be in a fight. Now, you can beat anybody. You can lose to everybody.
When you're 25-30, you don't have that benefit.
The performance we saw last night, give up 133 points, turn it over 20 times, and just basically running around like with no general plan other than let's get LeBron 36 or more points. Yeah. It wasn't totally out of the ordinary of what we've seen. This is the team that it is. It's a 5-game under 500 team. It's a team that is just as likely to miss the play-in as it is to get into it.
Yep.
It's kind of 50-50 toss-up at this point. This frustration or surprise at, hey, why is this happening? The same reason it happened the other 25 times that they've lost a game. They're not very good.
Can I say this? Yesterday was incredibly... It was unique in this perspective. It was awkward that when anybody else shot the ball, the crowd, we'll get a chance.
Funny.
John will come in here, Mace will come in, and the experience of watching a game where Dennis Schroeder takes an open jumper and the crowd's like, Schroeder, why are you shooting that? pass the ball over to Braun. There's 3 guys on him, but that's okay. Yesterday was not. I don't like trying to critique yesterday's game with some of the other games. Yesterday was a very, very unique game.
And
they stopped the game with 10 seconds left in the third quarter and had a whole presentation.
And it was also like every other game. It was both of those things.
Commercial-free Celebration Wednesday on 710 ESPN. We are at 9,900 seconds thus far. So we've got the dump coming up in a few minutes. Super Crosstalk at 12:55 p.m. But right now, we're going to take a moment for the great producer Taylor to bring out the fiddle as he gets it ready. A world premiere live fiddling on 710 ESPN. I don't think that's ever been done. Take it away, producer Taylor.
The Brady Bunch. Awesome.
Trying to do that for you, Trav.
Thank you,
Can't remember
Taylor.
that one.
I loved it. It was fantastic. Well done. That was beautiful.
Great job, producer Taylor.
Well done, Taylor.
That will be played at Mandy's, too, that entire video, and hopefully we'll get some live fiddling from producer Taylor.
Good job. How about this, guys, from Shams just now?
Yep.
I'm going to read this. The Lakers, Jazz, and Timberwolves are in discussions on a 3-team deal that would send D'Angelo Russell to the Lakers, Russell Westbrook, and draft compensation such as a first-round pick to Utah, and Mike Conley Jr. to Minnesota, sources tell me, and T. Jones on the NBA. So the Lakers are reportedly in discussions. We can discuss what discussions mean, but they would get D'Angelo Russell, Russell Westbrook, and a pick would go to Utah, and Mike Conley would go to the Timberwolves. John Ireland in the house.
Hi, boys.
What's going on, John?
A round of applause for
Yes,
last
sir.
night's performance.
Yes, sir.
Great
Yes.
job, Johnny.
Yes, indeed.
Well, first of all, let me thank Chris and Mario Ruiz who just killed it with all these promos today. It's like been unbelievable. But getting back to your rumor, I think we're going to get one of these an hour for about the next 18 hours.
Okay.
I think that's what we need to be prepared for. A whole bunch of stuff out there, and we'll see what sticks. And a lot of these, I actually think, guys, are misdirection plays. Like, let's put this out there, and maybe that'll up the value. Like maybe that'll make the Pistons lower their asking price for Bojan Bogdanović because that's the pick we want. Or if there was somebody saying we can get, I'm sure the prevailing attitude out there is we can get Russell Westbrook anytime we want.
Yeah.
And so if he's about to go somewhere else, then maybe they call and say, hey,
before you do that,
we revisit. Yeah. So I think you got to be prepared for a lot of misdirection.
So with that in mind, that this could potentially be a ruse, that they're setting up one thing to set
real.
up the other.
Yeah.
Let's at least play it out that this is real. That's the deal that goes. Russell Westbrook is out. D'Angelo Russell is in. Pick goes out for the Lakers as well. Al, do you like it?
Personally, I am well past the D'Angelo Russell stage for the Lakers when I would hear that Kyle Kuzma was potential Lakers were going to go after him. I was kind of, all right, I'm okay with the chapter that churned. Let Kuz go do his own thing. We haven't seen D'Angelo Russell in a long time. That's not somebody that I would be crazy about. That's my own personal opinion. His style, his time that he spent with the Lakers, but that's my own personal opinion.
John?
I like D'Lo, always have. And I think he can't be the best player on your team. If he's the best player on your team, you're not going anywhere.
He'd be the third best player on this team,
But if he's
right?
if he's the third or fourth best player on your team, he can be really valuable.
And technically third on Minnesota, right? Anthony Edwards,
Cat
Carl Anthony Towns.
And Gobert. But
who's
Towns,
it? Bennett, too. Not Bennett. What's the other? Who am I blanking on? Edwards.
Edwards is the one there.
Yeah.
Gobert has been the two because Towns has been out. And so D'Lo, he's either been the 3 or the 4. But again, don't overreact to every rumor you have. There's a whole bunch of conversations going on right now.
Should we do the dump, guys? Is that what we're feeling right now?
Real quick, let me tell you, commercial-free celebration Wednesday made possible by our friends at George Chevrolet. George Chevrolet wants to earn your business by saving you money. Shop online at georgechevy.com. It is time for the dump.
Right before we get to the dump, let me tell you very quickly that if you are injured in an accident, you need to call Sweet James. The accident attorneys at Sweet James, this is what they do all day, every day. They make sure that you get the maximum compensation, that your car gets fixed, that the medical attention that you need, all of that is going to be taken care of when you call Sweet James. 800-500-5200. Say it with me, 800-500-5200 and sweetjames.com. You're talking nearly 20 years of experience. They've collected over $1 billion in settlements, including $188 million last year alone. So if you are hurt in an accident, do what I have done after my children have been involved in accidents. Do what my very closest friends have done after they've been involved in accidents. Call Sweet James. Say it with me one more time. 800-500-5200 and sweetjames.com. All right, Slee, you ready for a little dump stuff here?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, how
Let's
about
do
this?
it.
John, you want to participate in the dump? Outstanding.
Sure, why not?
So today is the day during Super Bowl week where Roger Goodell kind of holds his State of the Union, right? And he was asked a question about the officiating, and he said, I don't think it's ever been better. Does he believe that, or is this just I'm the commissioner of the league, you can never even acknowledge a hint of poor officiating, and I'm just going to pretend I don't see it and keep it moving?
Well, both things could be true. In other words, the refs could be better trained and more younger and more athletic and better than they've ever been, but they could still stink. And I think that's what we're talking about. Like Mike Pereira yesterday said he believes what Aaron Rodgers said to be true, that one of the reasons why the officiating has been bad is that all the best officiating people keep getting hired by the networks to be their thing. So it needs to get better. It could be as good as it's ever been, but it's still not great.
Well, I was going to say, we had an AFC Championship game where the story wasn't that Patrick Mahomes beat a really good Cincinnati team on one leg. It was the referees were terrible.
Yeah.
The open, the lead of every story was the referees got involved. That's never a good thing.
John, of the 3-4 major sports, whatever you want to call it, where's the NBA in your ranking of officiating? Because that's the one that frustrates me, maybe because we're around it too much. But the delays, how quick would you and Michael are doing a game? And Michael says, we just saw the replay, that's it.
If I was running the competition committee, I would change replay to this. No replay except with 2 minutes to go in a game. And then it's all reviewable. Anything.
By the teams or by the referees themselves?
The teams can
challenge.
Yeah, and you can review anything. But until you get to that last team, and you only get one, I don't. There's no other sport that stops the game for 10 minutes for no reason.
It's the administration.
long.
No, I know, but it's the administration of it much more than the actual letter of the law. Because Football's is, for my money, I think baseball's is the best. It happens fast. They don't spend a ton of time doing it.
Right.
When they say, okay, I think he was safe.
Are
they
you
go
talking about replay?
Yes.
Yeah.
When they look at it, okay, yep, he was safe, and they put the guy back on base, and we keep it moving.
Right.
It rarely takes more than a minute or two. Football's is kind of in the middle. The NBA, I don't know if it's the structure of it as much as it's just
we
the
also have to
administration of it.
we got to change the priorities too, guys. Like once they go to replay, the number one priority now for the NBA is to get the call right.
Yep.
No matter what, no matter how long it takes, get the call right. It shouldn't be the number one priority. The number one priority is get back to the game. If you can't figure it out in 2 minutes, the call stands. That's it. And we could start
That's a good rule.
You take
I like
away
that.
entertainment. You take away any momentum of the game.
Yeah, if we've done this for 90 seconds and we don't know, we don't know. We're going with what was called on the
and
field.
And Michael
we'll
points
go
out
from
all
there.
the time, he played a whole career with no replay.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't need replay, just slows everything down.
Let me add one thing to the Shams tweet because he just sent another one. Ongoing discussions have included Utah's Malik Beasley and Jared Vanderbilt as part of the potential 3-team deal to the Lakers, sources tell me. Sides are working through pick protections and additional draft compensation, too, per sources.
Okay, so if that's that far down the road, there's probably something to this. By the way, Beasley, excellent three-point shooter.
Really
Vanderbilt, freak athlete.
Yeah. Those two players had been talked about, but I think more with Mike Conley.
Are those
Lakers
guys,
are a lot younger.
you snap your fingers, those guys are here, they play tomorrow night in a fantasy land, right?
Right.
Are the Lakers a better team tomorrow than they were yesterday?
Probably, yeah. I would have to see.
Is that not scary, though, John, because your answer itself, that it's probably. as opposed to definitely.
Well, with Kyrie, I would have said definitely.
Oh, for sure.
But these guys, who knows? You know, how much of an
That's what I'm
upgrade is
scared
it?
of. That what you just said right there is the kind of the central thesis of my reluctance to be super aggressive right now. To go from the team that right now is 5 games under 500, 13th place, not very good, to, we probably will be better. That doesn't sound like a great deal to me.
So the other side of it, just something to keep in mind, part of the disadvantage of letting Russ's contract play out, it's not that you're going to get $47 million in cap space right when the season ends. And Russ, it's not like they're primarily using him towards the end of games. I mean, his value, at least with the Lakers, is not fully there. These are role players that you could actually use.
You know what it's time to do, guys? A little super crosstalk.
ESPN AM 710 Los Angeles. KRDC AM 1110 Pasadena, Los Angeles.
K256CX 99.1 FM Pasadena, Los Angeles.
It's the greatest segment in LA sports radio history.
Oh my God. When the shows come together for magic on the radio.
It will only grow stronger. Super Crosstalk.
Are we ready for Mason and Ireland to join Travis and Slee?
Super Crosstalk begins. Super Crosstalk presented by In-N-Out Burger. In-N-Out. That's what a hamburger is all about.
It's time for Super Crosstalk.
Woo! We've mostly made it, Al.
Yeah.
We made it to 12:56 and counting right
How
now.
was it?
Commercial, not so bad.
Yeah, it wasn't that bad.
One
Not
year,
so bad.
1 year as a stunt, Mason and I did 24 hours straight. You guys think you could do that?
With commercials.
Yeah.
No. Oh, did we have commercials?
Yeah.
Yeah, we had commercials.
But we did 24 hours straight. The Angels were playing the A's in a big series back when the Angels and A's were good. That year, the Angels won the World Series.
Okay, 2.
Yeah, and so they were coming in for a big series. We said, we're going to start at 3 o'clock. We actually did more than 24 hours. We said, we're going to start at 3. We were doing afternoon drive back then. We're going to start 3 o'clock on a Thursday.
It's like 26-hour pregame show.
And go to the Angel game pregame show, which was 6 o'clock on a Friday. And we did it live from the Anaheim Stadium parking lot. And we were
no kidding.
Yeah, we were on, and it was a nice night. It was
All night long.
Yeah. People were bringing us donuts and coffee. People were bringing their dogs.
That's
we were
awesome.
Playing, Mason and I were out there playing Frisbee while we were on the air.
We picked
Yeah.
listeners to each come in and sort of guide us through an hour, through the overnight hours.
Okay.
It was
and
really
like,
fun.
Yeah, I think
12
I could do
or
that.
13 hours into it, we were like, I'm okay. Are you okay? Yeah. And by the time it was over, we're like,
What was it?
I'm
Was
good.
it in the middle of the night that was the hardest part? Like
no, but we did
3 a.m.?
We did a smart thing. From midnight to 6 a.m., we brought in a listener co-host, different listener co-host each hour.
Okay.
So, like, you could be Travis Rogers off the street. You would come co-host the show.
That's basically what I am.
Yeah, and we got the listeners like really prepared for
That's
it.
cool.
They all did.
They did great.
If
They
you
were
had
all
to,
really
if
good.
you had to do it in studio, would you be able to, like, the
Wouldn't
fact
be
that
as-
you were
wouldn't be
out
as
there
fun.
and it was
outside. I mean, I had my dog with me.
It's awesome.
It was really, really a cool night. Some lady,
Remember, put your dog in a sweater.
Some crazy lady put my dog in a sweater. Hollis was my dog at the time. Just absolutely hated it.
And remember that she kept yelling for some reason,
Super fire.
rocket fire.
Rocket
She was
fire.
nuts.
No, I mean, I
she,
get what it
we
meant.
said, she was cuckoo.
And yeah, we said it's perfect. Back then, remember our buddy Brooks Melchior had the Sports by Brooks
That's right.
girls, and he kept bringing different ones in every hour, and it was we had a good time.
Yeah, it was a fun night.
We
It was
probably
a fun
couldn't-
night.
We probably couldn't do that aspect of it anymore, but it was fun back then.
What do you think, Al?
We'll do what we do in Dodger Stadium. Like, how are we going to do this?
And
I think in the
look, first of
studio
all,
would be so hard to
Before
do
we
anything
start
here.
talking logistics, we
Yeah.
should probably discuss whether or not we'd like to try to do something.
Oh
like
yeah,
that.
27 hours. is what
27
they
hours.
did.
That's the record.
Yeah.
27 hours.
You guys, if you do it, you
personal
got to
best.
do 28.
Yeah.
Just so you
You
can
got to
beat
try
us.
to try to beat it along
Yeah.
the way. I don't know. We could have a discussion.
We'll do 11 super crosstalks.
Yeah,
We'll
right. A
just
lot
keep
of
doing
super
those.
crosstalk.
Be looking forward to it every 3 hours. It's like, come on in, guys.
Oh,
let's
do
do it
some
again.
super
Let's do it again.
crosstalk.
So, Mace, we were talking about the rumor that just got dropped out there.
Yeah.
D'Angelo Russell to the Lakers, Russell Westbrook, and a pick out. Mike Conley to the Minnesota Timberwolves. Which parts did I forget, John?
No, you
Malik
pretty much got that.
Beasley,
Malik
yeah,
Beasley and Jared
Jared
Vanderbilt could
Jared
come
Vanderbilt
Okay.
potentially.
What do you- initial thoughts?
Good. I mean, I think they're nice rotation players. I mean, D'Angelo Russell, I think, would be great with this team. Mike Conley. Now, maybe Mike Conley's not part of this since
No, he is, but
D'Angelo
he would
Russell
be
is
going
in
to
this.
Minnesota.
He'd go to Minnesota.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Would we wind up with Vanderbilt?
Yeah.
And we would wind up with Beasley.
Yeah.
So Beasley's a solid rotation player.
Well, and he's a good shooter.
and he's a good
So
shooter.
look
Shooting
up what Beasley-
37%
you just
from the
did?
field.
Okay.
Any of these guys play defense?
Vanderbilt does.
Okay.
Yeah, Vanderbilt is good.
Because that, I mean, we've talked about this before.
I would tighten
D'Angelo
up
is
that defense
basically
a little
Gary
bit.
Payton.
Yeah, well, it was John. I was thinking about you last night watching the game. It was not just that the Lakers are not a great 3-point shooting team. OKC wasn't missing. They made
Right,
three
but go
after
back. I'm
three
sitting there.
after three.
There's a replay on right now. It's in the first quarter when they were doing that, and most of those threes were uncontested.
That's what I'm saying. Somebody's
Apparently,
going to have
they
to
didn't
defend
read
that shot.
that Isaiah Joe shoots 44%. From
He's one of the
three.
best in the league.
And
Yeah.
you know they hit when
Muscala
they
looked
hit
amazing.
100 in the third quarter. I was like, oh,
With, like,
God.
2.5
yeah,
minutes
with
to
2.5
go.
I was like, I immediately thought of Ralph Lawler's Law.
Yeah.
first
First
team
one to 100.
first one to 100 is probably going to win the game. I'm
Well,
like,
I'll
we're screwed.
say this about the Lakers: something has to change.
Yeah.
I think everybody knows that. You can't give up 133 points to Oklahoma City. You can't
And
give up
131 the last game.
well,
Yeah,
and
Pelicans.
70 in the second half.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they went from 70 in the second half in New Orleans to 76 in the first half last night. So the defense is broken. They've got to do something.
And this is Darvin's thing.
I was just telling. We were talking about it that when he was introduced, when we were at Media Day, and Al and I interviewed him both those days. Defense and effort.
Yeah.
Defense and effort. The effort's been pretty good. I have no complaints, generally speaking, about the effort.
They grind.
Well,
But the defense
They
has
grind.
been atrocious.
Yeah.
It's been atrocious. And it's just he doesn't have the right guys. Did they just abandon the philosophy?
Well, they
Is
go
it-
small so often, and I think Schroeder. I don't think is a good defender at all. And I mean, they've got issues on the defensive side. And John, not closing out on 3-point shooters is effort, right?
Right.
It is effort going out to pick up some guy at the arc,
Right.
So the effort isn't there in the defense, which I think is a huge issue.
They're trying to protect the rim at all costs, and they'll say we'll give up a three. But in this league day and age now, these 3-point shooters are so good.
Yeah.
You can't leave guys
And
wide open at the 3-point
I mean, it's
line.
one game. Take it for what it's worth. But there wasn't a whole hell of a lot of rim protection last night either.
Well, I don't know. AD looked off.
Yeah, he did.
Super. Even
He did
by
look
his
off.
standards,
Yeah.
he was off.
I don't know what was going on.
I guess
there.
everybody's seen the video by now. AD
Weird. So
just-
Yeah, I wonder if he was feeling
He stayed in his seat
Yeah.
when the record. He was about the only person in the building who wasn't standing up.
So just for the people that haven't seen it,
Yeah.
so LeBron is at the opposite end of the floor of the Laker bench, and AD is sitting down on his seat. His Laker teammates are standing in front of him. You can see LeBron in the distance rise up, take the shot, knock it down. Place goes crazy. All the Laker players shoot
Everybody's
their hands in the
standing
air,
up. Yep.
clapping, having a great time. AD shows no visible reaction at all. His hands don't go in the air. He
Nope.
doesn't stand up. It is a very odd video.
Very odd look.
Yeah,
And I was going to say, and then at halftime, apparently there was Darvin Ham and Russell Westbrook got into. I mean, there's a bunch of stuff going on in terms. There was the record, and then there was the game, and every one of these games means a lot. They were half game behind Oklahoma City going into last night. Now they're a game and a half back. Yeah. I mean, they've got to get something in gear. And by the way, Milwaukee's not the best place to start a winning streak, but they need one.
The opposite. They've won 8 games in a row, and they're averaging 130 a game during the streak. So they're coming in here like white hot.
Yep.
And the Lakers beat them when we were in Milwaukee. So
That's right.
They feel like they've got, unfinished business here. But, the one thing is, whether it's defensive strategy, whether it's rotations, whether it's shaking up the roster, I think everybody can agree they've got to change something.
Yes.
So if you put this out there, night after night, it's not working.
But I think the question is, there's draft capital, according to Shams, involved in this thing. Is that a number one pick level of draft
I don't
capital?
think the players you're talking about, maybe one of them, but not both.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you be surprised if both of those are gone for this package?
Oh, it shouldn't be.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be.
Because
this doesn't make them a championship favorite.
So
by
just a
any
couple of
stretch.
minutes ago, Woj was on NBA Today on ESPN talking about D'Angelo Russell.
Listen, they remain engaged all over the league, like any number of teams who are trying to improve ahead of tomorrow's deadline. One player that they've talked about in the past and have been engaged with again today, D'Angelo Russell in Minnesota. They've had some conversations on perhaps some multi-team trades that would potentially land them Russell. They've been certainly in that point guard market there's other interest in Russell, and I think Minnesota's a team that's not going to easily give him up. He has played well for them. They have talked about an extension with him here in the last couple of months, perhaps a short extension, but I think this is a player who I think there's going to be further conversation about, along with Mike Conley in Utah, Malik Beasley, Jared Vanderbilt, certainly those players. And, Bojan Bogdanovic remains a player that the Lakers very much covet, and the asking price for them so far has been too high in Detroit. But, the idea of bringing back D'Angelo Russell, who obviously started his career with the Lakers, that's a conversation that has been going on today, I'm told.
It sounds a lot like what you were saying, John, which is what we have doesn't work. Mm-hmm. Let's mix it up. Let's mix it up and see what comes out the other side.
And for some reason, this doesn't get talked about enough, in my opinion. If your team is a losing record and you don't do anything at the trade deadline, it makes no sense to me.
But what if you extend the
unless
bad
you're
team?
trying to lose?
Well, that's different. Trying to lose is one thing, but
that's
what if
a scenario.
Making a move actually makes you worse for longer?
I think it's a cost of doing business. I think you've got to try something. You're just going to keep trotting this thing out there that.
But I don't think they should blow 2 number 1 picks.
That's what I'm saying.
In a deal like this,
I'd be surprised if that was.
But the idea
happening.
of we don't have. And I'm going to put it back in a world that I understand a little bit better with baseball. That here, take my top prospects. I'm going to take a guy that's a middling major league starting pitcher. We're a little bit better, but those 2 guys go and become something else somewhere down the line.
No
not
bag
only
of magic beans
did it
turns
not
into magic.
help me, but I'm actually worse for longer.
I think I could tell you why.
Part.
I think I could tell you why. I could tell you because LeBron and AD are on this team, and that they can't, like John just mentioned, this might come back and haunt the Lakers, or this might, hey, maybe just by mixing it up, maybe the subtraction of not having Russell Westbrook on this team and adding some other role players could be the difference of, all right, well, now they got a shot to get in the playoffs and see if these guys can make a little bit of noise. I'm not telling you it's the perfect strategy, but it's because those 2 guys are on the roster. And if they weren't on the roster and there wasn't this pressure to try to win right now, maybe a deal like this doesn't happen.
So I didn't get a chance to listen to the show. I was coming in. I took an Uber to work today, and by the way, the lady was on the phone the entire time.
Why did you take an Uber?
Because last night was a fun night.
Oh, you had a good time?
Okay. Yeah, last night was a fun night.
Good for you.
Yeah, last night was fun.
You went to the Hyde Lounge.
I did.
Yeah.
Went to Hyde.
How was that?
Which was cool.
I heard you had a suit on.
I had a
Look
suit
at
on.
you.
Yeah, it was all the cool kids at the
There's
Hyde
one more
Lounge.
thing Morales added to what you did yesterday.
Yeah, what was that?
said you had a hot dog, but you didn't want anybody to know or something like that.
No, what do you mean I didn't want
I don't know.
anybody
That's
to
what he
know?
said.
Hot dog.
That's
What
what
am
he
I,
said.
skulking around this luxury box with a hot dog?
I skulked
trying to
around the
hide
side
it?
of my
Come on.
house the other day and threw away the McDonald's bag instead of getting caught
I
with it in the
literally
house.
told Kaplan last night. Okay, so here's the way it went. So there's a table full of chips and potato chips and pretzels and all that stuff. And Kaplan said, okay, let's hold each other accountable. I'm not going to get anything on that table. You don't get anything on that table. So I'm like, okay, I'm in. And I turn around. There's Kaplan eating peanuts, just shoveling peanuts into his mouth from that table. I'm like, what? We just agreed that we were going to hold
He
each other
violated
accountable.
the agreement right out of the gate.
And I said, I will eat one hot dog, and that is it. And I ate one hot dog, and that was not top secret.
So you didn't get a chance to hear. We had a couple of different games today on the show, and the winner got 2 minutes to not have to do anything during our commercial-free broadcast.
There's a reason why he's wrapping up
So
right now.
I won both games.
Oh, so you're leaving?
I'm
Yeah,
done,
he's out.
guys.
Okay.
I am. Good luck to you. Enjoy your 3+ hours of commercial-free. But I'm going to now implement
to
my
you and
4
your
minutes.
family.
Yeah.
And
Good for
Al,
you, man.
You're up.
Yeah. So was there a mega factor cap today? Did you do like more facts and more caps than ever before?
I don't know if it was that much more. We did do an Ask Taylor. And
Ask Taylor.
A lot of people have some interest in Taylor's life and his kind of his
Yeah.
inner life. Went into. We had, I know, a good friend of yours too. Bernstein came on.
Andy Bernstein,
Andy
great guy.
Bernstein got a chance to talk about his. He was there at Kareem breaking Wilt.
Yeah, well,
Oh,
he's
wow.
been
Is
the
that something?
NBA's chief photographer for 40 years.
So he's just had a chance out to him. Got a chance out to Tristan Thompson. Obviously played with LeBron James.
Right.
But I got to be honest, it kind of flew by. I think
That's good, man.
We felt like it was gonna.
You forgot the games that you lost.
Oh no, we already talked.
You
We
lost
all-
games?
I lost
Travis
the games,
won,
which is
so
why
that's why he
Trav
gets to
is
leave early.
Oh, okay.
why
Yeah.
Trav is leaving. So you were starting to tell a story. You said you took the Uber in and everything else.
Yeah. Now tell me if this is Uber etiquette or not. She talked on the phone the entire time.
It would bug me.
Yeah, I mean, it was a nonstop conversation, and I looked at the thing, and she'd been on the phone for 3 hours and was having a
my
conversation,
gosh.
and I'm like, I don't know, like talking on the phone the entire time while you're in an Uber. I don't mind chatting with the driver, but the driver's chatting with somebody on the other end of the phone.
I think
it was annoying.
Yeah, I should. You part of what you're paying for is undivided attention.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How many stars should I give her? I always get 5. I don't care.
I don't think I rate. Yeah, I don't think I rate.
I always rate. I've never not given 5.
I've never not given 5 either. And
But
I
that's
expect
it.
5.
Here's what I would do there.
Yeah.
No rating.
No rating at all?
Just don't.
What about tip?
You can tip her.
You have to.
Yeah, you can tip her.
Yeah, you got to tip. But just,
I always hit the high end of the
just
tip,
check,
which is like 25%. Would you go
Yeah.
25%?
Sure.
Okay, is it rude if we flip it? You make phone calls when you're in an Uber?
Oh, that's a good question.
I've done that. I've made phone calls and I've asked, "Hey, if you're cool with it, I'm going to make a call."
Yeah. Well, you asked.
I think that's okay, right?
Yeah, I think that's okay.
I do.
Because you are technically the customer.
Correct.
Right. So
Right.
I think what you do
Yeah.
is different than what the driver does.
Only thing that annoys me if I get into an Uber and there's nothing I could do, but I guess I could tell. Sometimes they got the music so loud in the back. I'm like, I'm in here. I'm here.
Yeah, that's
Right.
that's-
Were they ignoring you?
Well, what I would say is just, can you turn the music down or off? You
Yeah,
know, if it's depends
that's
what they're
always
playing.
okay. So I know you guys want to save a lot of it for the show.
Oh, yeah.
But just
a lot of it.
Very-
we got so
very
much
much.
stuff
Just-
that
we're
we
loaded.
need
By the way, I
to
smelled
do.
the weed yesterday. It's back.
yeah.
You said it was back
Wasn't
a
me.
couple games ago.
Was not me.
And it's not a coincidence that
Go.
Mason goes to his first game all year and you smell weed. Yeah.
That was not me.
Yeah.
Was definitely not.
I had a secondhand high. But just, John, and Mace, just real quick, what was that like for you guys yesterday? I know you guys have been around so many different sporting events. It was so funny. We were talking about it, how unique it was. Every time Dennis Schroeder touched the ball and took a shot, the crowd was like, "Oh, no, don't touch the ball." It was just so different than
It's
something
only
we've
the
ever seen.
second game I've ever worked. Kobe's last game was the first one, where the player was more important than the game. And the Lakers treated it that way.
Yeah,
you could
they
tell.
did.
They kind of checked out. But it was about LeBron. It was about the record. And frankly, Darvin talked about it after the game. I think their focus was off, and Oklahoma City stayed focused and won the game. But I wasn't too bothered by it. It was such a big record. And
Yeah, it was such a
big
cool
night
night.
that, let LeBron have his
It
night.
felt a lot like everybody came out for it, right? If you went to the media room, everybody was there. That like me, I don't go to a lot of games. I got to go to this one. I was really
Felt like the
really
finals.
cool. Felt like this is a night where everybody shows up, and I thought it was great. Every time somebody else took a shot, I would yell, "No!"
Yeah,
LeBron, and every
Pass it
time
to Bron, he's guarded by three guys.
LeBron had the ball, the entire arena was on its feet.
Yeah.
That was great.
I love those two jumbo screens, the scoreboards that they added this year.
Right, that had the countdown on them.
That's pretty cool. It just says chasing history, has Kareem's numbers, has Bron's numbers, and you're 16 away.
Really cool.
Or
I had a
something like
weird
that.
thing happen. I made a mistake. I made a couple of them actually on the back end of that call, not the one that everybody's playing,
right?
But towards after the call, was going for a while. I had Doug write down the exact amount of points, 38,388. And I had a lot of numbers in front of me, and I transposed the numbers.
Yeah.
And thank God, Chris and Mario are really good at their job, so they just cut all this stuff out and made me look good. But the other thing I did was, and I don't know why I did it wasn't intentional, was I said, everyone at Staples Center is standing up. It's not Staples Center anymore.
Right.
And the reaction was not, oh, Ireland screwed up. It was, I'm so glad you said Staples Center.
Right.
It was like the weirdest reaction. They were glad I screwed up. Like they would say, to us, it will always be.
It will always be Staples Center.
I didn't mean, if you're listening, Crypto.com, I did not mean to screw you. I just was talking in a stream of consciousness. But the reaction from fans was weird. It was like, I'm so glad you said Staples Center.
That is the most natural thing that I hear across the street, or how many times you hear broadcasters, the San Diego Chargers. Like
that comes out of my mouth all the time.
Are almost impossible to get out of your mind.
Good job, Slee.
Congratulations.
Thanks, guys.
Great piece
Thanks.
of work right there.
It wasn't 26 hours or 27 hours, whatever you guys did.
But it was impressive nonetheless.
All right, I'm going to get out of your guys' way.
It is a commercial-free Celebration Wednesday on 710 ESPN. We are now at 11,640 seconds.
There's
so
a number
far.
you can transpose, John.
We are going to 38,388. And thanks to our friends at Harrah's Resort SoCal, find your funner state of mind with a visit to Harrah's Resort SoCal. Voted best resort in Funner, California. From dining to unwinding, you'll find fun around every corner. Book today at harrahssocal.com. Mason and Ireland coming up in a moment.